Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Hurlingham Club for the much-awaited final of the second leg of the Triple Crown. The Hurlingham Club. Here we are for this game between La Natividad, a team that will be playing on the green jersey, and Murus Sanctus. Both teams, both organizations seeking for their first ever title at the Argentine Triple Crown. Already Murus Sanctus have played the final of the Hurlingham Open last year. They lost against Ernestina, and this man on screen, Camilo Castagnola, with an injury on his left wrist, is ready to jump on the field for the first ever final of La Natividad in the Triple Crown. This will be the first ever final by Lolo Castagnola's organization on the series of tournaments most important in the world. Packed standings we have here today at the Hurlingham Club. A lot of people gathering by the field to follow the action. Today, 5 players could win their first ever title at the Triple Crown. Of course, not this guy, Juan Manero, 11-time winner of the Argentine Open. But then, what about, for example, regarding Murus Sanctus, Sapo Cassette and Facu Sola, a 10 and a 9 goaler respectively, who never won yet a Triple Crown competition in Argentina. But what a players. And then regarding La Natividad, only Polito Pieres have won titles in Tortugas and Hurlingham. And of course this guy, Barto Castagnola, 20 years old, what a player, will be seeking for his first ever title, of course, alongside his brother Camilo and South African Nachi Duplessis. There we see Polito Pieres and one of the officials, Polito, on his second year playing for La Natividad after 5 years playing for Ernestina. He's back on the team where he played for back in 2012 when Lolo was still playing the Triple Crown. And Barto Castagnola, again, a guy who already at a very young age have already won the Queen's Cup, the Gold Cup for the British Open, the French Open, I don't know, and so many other competitions that show why this is one of the best players in the world nowadays, for sure. One of the best, number 3. Of course, the people still coming over to Hurlingham to follow this amazing final. And the band as well, sounding here at the main field, named after Louis Lacy, one of the greatest ever to play the sport, and a very important person in the history of polo in Argentina and of course in Hurlingham. So here we are in a few moments. La Natividad, Murus Sanctus will be taking on the field to look for the Hurlingham Open title, of course, there by his brother Matías McDonough, of course, Facu Sola. 9 goals. And the guy who suffered an injury at the beginning of the season here in Argentina at the Jockey Club Open. But now he's back in business for Murus and Sapo Cassette. What can you tell me about Sapo? What a season, one of the best players in the world by far. Sapo playing 10 goals every day and one of the top scorers of the tournament, 22 so far. Second only after Facundo Pieres, who is at the top of the standings regarding top scorers. And of course, second match in history for these foursome playing together. They made their debut last Saturday because at the end, with the injuries that Facu Sola suffered and also Pablo McDonough later on, this is going to be only their second game playing all together. Facu Sola, Sapo Cassette, Pablo McDonough, Juan Manero. What a dream team for sure. The boots, of course, very well polished for this contest. A historical one for this Murus Sanctus organization. Second final in history for them, playing the Triple Crown after, as we mentioned before, the Hurlingham Open last year. But that was a different foursome, of course, with Facu Sola, Sapo Cassette, Fran Elizalde, nowadays in La Dolfina, and Alfredo Capella, nowadays playing for El Overo UAE. a team that yesterday won the Copa Pilar, formerly known as Municipalidad de Pilar. They beat Nuestra Tierra Trenquelauquen to claim the championship. But this is a different story, of course. Ahead of us is the Argentine Open, which will be kicking off next Friday in Palermo with 10 teams in participation already. The main draw has been completed with the qualification of Chapaleufú and Alegría Fish Creek. And now we fly over Nachi Duplessis. What a moment he's going through. I had a chance to speak with him a couple of weeks ago, how everything changed for him. Some years ago, around 2013, 2014, he was thinking about leaving all behind, selling all his horses. Suddenly he received a call to be a substitute for El Ostina. In that Argentine Open back in 2014, Mariano Aguirre got injured in the debut and he was replaced by Nachi, and that year he ended up playing the final of the Open. After that, he continued playing, and in 2018, while he was playing for La Delfina Polo Ranch, he crossed the street, he went to La Natividad and said to Lolo, Lolo, I want to play with your kids, I want to play with Geta, I want to play with Barto. And in 2019, they entered the qualification tournament. Of course, they won it. They entered the Argentine Open with a couple of historical performances. They remained in the main draw after a couple of wins. And then, of course, now he's going through his third year. He has all his horses there at La Natividad. He also lives by, and he's enjoying a very particular moment nowadays, Nachi Duplessis. And this guy, Camilo Castagnola, 18 years old. What do you think about his handicap now, playing off 9? But in case he gets raised to 10 at the end of this season, will be the youngest ever to reach 10 goals in Argentina nowadays. Both Cambiaso and Facundo reached 10 goals at the age of 19. While the band is getting ready to play, I think, the national anthem. Let's see. We're live here on AAP Live. My name is Andrés Ugarte. I'll be your commentator today for this final of the Hurlingham Open, where La Natividad and Murus Sanctus will be seeking for the title. And now the players lining up by the side of the umpires to listen to the national anthem. Of course, the photographers as well, gathering by the side of the players. So now, the Argentina national anthem. always a very emotional moment here in Argentina before an event to listen to the national anthem, of course. So now everything is getting set to kick off the action here at the Hurlingham Club. We're around 35 minutes away from the city of Buenos Aires, but maybe usually on a day like this one, at the beginning of the weekend, it takes a little more time because the motorway's usually packed at these hours. So it takes around an hour from the city of Buenos Aires to reach Hurlingham, but if not, usually half an hour you're here. Now another very traditional song is being played by the band called La Marcha de San Lorenzo. A very patriotic song here in Argentina. And of course, they are now leaving the field. And in a few moments' time, we'll be going through with the lineups for today's contest. What a contest! Murus Sanctus on blue, La Natividad on green. Two very strong lineups. That this is funny, they will be playing against each other again at the Argentine Open to decide most probably who reaches the final. So this is going to be the first of the two contests between these two teams, and of course in a few moments time during today's transmission we'll be going through the leagues for Palermo and also the first match day. So the moment for the official presentation of the teams for Murus Sanctus. Number 1, Facundo Sola, 9 goals. Number 2, this man, what a player, Sapo Cassette, 10 goals. Number 3, the captain of this team, Polo McDonough. And as a number 4, Juan Martinero, 10 goals, 39 for Murus Sanctus. A team that was set to win the Open for sure. For La Natividad, number 1, Camilo Jeta Castañola, 9 goals. He always a silent player. Polito as a number 2, 9. Number 3, Barto Castañola, 9 goals. And the back is Ignacio Duplessis, Nachi Duplessis from South Africa, 9 goals as well. So 36 for La Natividad. Of course, it's played on an open system, so it doesn't matter if there is a difference of 3 goals in between the teams, which is what is going on today. Substitutes for Murus Sanctus, Facu Fernández Llorente, and I think there was also Magu Laprida around. The coach is, of course, Russo Egui for second consecutive year with them. And there, the coach of La Natividad, the great Pepe Egui. So, a brothers clash as well. Nachi now ready to jump in the field for this contest. So again, the lineup for La Natividad: Camilo Castañola, Polito Pieres, Barto Castañola, Nachi Duplessis, 36 goals. As substitutes, I think I saw Lenin Subiarra and Torito Ruiz, in case anything happens. Of course, there you see a taping on Camilo Castañola's left wrist. This is because he got injured last Thursday, but he's okay to play. So hopefully everything goes well for him today. Hita, what a player, silent player, but how much talent you have there. And of course this guy, Facu Sola, who made his comeback for the Hurlingham Open. I mean, he missed the 2 matches in Tortugas after an injury he suffered during the Jockey Club Open, but now he's in full swing for today and of course for the Argentine Open from next week on. Of course, packed standings for today's contest here. So far for them. While we take a look at the officials for today: Guillermo Villanueva, Gaston Lucero. Gaston is this man on screen. A very solid couple of umpires. 2 of the best in the world for sure. And of course, Nachi, for sure, followed by everybody there in South Africa, cheering up for him. So I want to take this opportunity to say hi to all the people who is joining us from around the world, this special transmission of AAP Live. So the horses for this track number 1, we have Camilo on Galaxia, Polito on Monkey Puzzle, Barto on Rayo Fragancia, Nachi on Open Arabia. The horses for La Natividad, and for Murus Sanctus we have Facundo Sola on Cachilluyo Millonaria, Sapo Cassette on Jazz Fragata, Pablo on Irenita Barca, and Juan Manero on Anaísur Milagros. So it's all set now to kick off the action here at the main field at the Hurlingham Club. 4:45 p.m. local time in Argentina in this very moment. As I was saying before, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to the final of the Hurlingham Open. My name is Andrés Ugarte. I'll be your commentator today. Some words there by the umpires. Good luck to all of you. We'll not be discussing any calls. Don't scream.
Elige Murus Sanctus, arranca vos, Guille acá. Va a arrancar Guille desde acá, elige azul.
So the draw was won by Murus Sanctus, so they will be picking the side for this beginning of the game. Guillermo Villanueva will be throwing the ball in the lineup for the first half. Of course, we remember everybody that today it will be the first 8-checker game of all the season, and then of course during the Argentine Open all matches will be played on 8 checkers. So now everything is getting set and the game is on here in Hurlingham, and now Camilo Castañola trying to win it over. Nicely taken there by Sapo Cassette. Approach it also by Barto Castañola. Nicely taken by Sapo, open to the right hand side, trying to link with Facundo Sola. And now Barto Castañola very quickly picking the ball there. Over the marking of Barto Castañola, who ended up taking a very good back shot to link with Polito Pérez. And here comes Polito trying to set the first attacking opportunity in the game in favor of La Natividad. Nice approach by Polito Pérez, taking it all the way into the 40s, into the 30s. One more approach by Polito on the near side to find the net. And Polito Pérez very quickly into this game opens the score in favor of La Natividad. And now it's 1-0 in favor of the green jersey team after a very nice breakaway by Polito. What a run there, taking it from end to end practically. And Pablo Pérez scoring the opening goal of the contest, and now they're on the lead. And now, of course, back to the center to resume the action. Sapo Cassette picking it up, and now a little bit open to the right-hand side. One more approach, chased by Nachi Duplessis. The approach by Sapo from the boards to the center. Now, following the ball was Barto Castañola, and the ball goes wide to the left-hand side, and it'll be La Natividad resuming from the back at this beginning of the game. And it will be Nachi Duplessis. He can hit really hard the ball. Nachi looking for Camilo, but before anybody else. Juan Manero, now Barto Castañola to take it all the way to the other end. Now comes Polito again. One more approach by Polito from the right to the left. One more approach over the marking of Juan Manero. Nice angle by Polito Pérez. Coming from behind was Camilo Castañola. Juan Manero with the back shot. Nice saving there. And now Facu Sola playing again towards the ball to link with Juanma. Here comes Nero, the emperor of Trenquelao with Juanma. One more approach, and now coming from behind, picking it up. It was Sapo Cassette. And now Facundo Sola trying to take it all the way. Nice approach by the guy from Cordoba. One more tapping, and the ball starts going wide to the right-hand side. Nice defense now by La Natividad, but Murus Sanctus getting closer to score halfway through the first. The green jersey team is on the lead, 1-0 after a very early goal scored by Polito. And now Barto Castagnola from the back, long approach by Barto, linking with Camilo. One more tapping there by Camilo Castagnola. The ball staying in behind. Now Nachi Duplessis, stopped by Pablo. Now again, nice contest there between Pablo and Nachi. Very well taken by the guy from Murus Santos. And now Sapo Cassette, the ball staying in behind. Again with the long approach. Pablo McDonald trying to link with Sapo. The ball going wide to the right hand side. And Barto Castagnola with the open back shot, and now a very nice link into fine Nachi Duplessis again. Nachi with the long approach to link with Polito Pieres. Here comes Pablo Pieres. One more approach, very well taken by Polito to take it all the way into the 60s, into the 40s. Here comes Pablo Pieres to score the second one today, and Polito Pieres scoring the second one for La Natividad to extend the lead in this beginning of the game, 2-0. But what a breakaway again by Polito to score. And now La Natividad is on the lead by 2. What a way to keep the possession of the ball by Pablo Pieres, who is on fire today. While there is a timeout. Maybe a problem with a horse. Here comes Nachi, and also he's joined by Camilo, who will also be changing horses. Received there by his brother Benicio, always giving a hand to his family club. So with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining, La Natividad is on the lead, 2-0 over Murus Santos. There we see Guillermo Villanueva explaining that they are waiting for everybody. And now, nice pickup by Pablo McDonald, trying to send his team in attack, linking very well with Juanma. Nice approach by Juan Martín Nero. From the boards to the center, one more approach by Nero. Juan Martín Nero scoring after a very nice linking between him and Pablo McDonald. Juan Manero scores to close the gap. I mean, they've been playing together since 2008, Pablo and Juanma, and they're showing why. They understand each other very well. But what an approach by Juanma. On the first attempt, he did what he was looking for. And now the game is on. Nice pickup by Camilo Castagnola. The approach by Camilo looking for Nachi Duplessis, who was coming on the inside. Nice rider by Juanma. So first there will be Pablo McDonald under pressure because Polito was already there as well. The rider there by Camilo over Sapo. Sapo Cassette manages to remain in possession of the ball, linking very well with Facundo Sola. The approach by Facu, and now Nachi Duplessis on the near side, taking the danger away. And now a very nice pickup by Camilo. What a passing by Camilo, looking for Barto, but very well read by Juanma. And Nero with the back shot. Now Sapo Cassette picking it up. And on the turning, Polito Pieres, top scorer so far in this beginning of the game. Again, Pablo leaving it for Barto Castagnola, finding his best angle maybe to hit a goal from a long distance. The approach by Barto Castagnola. The ball goes wide to the left-hand side. And Murus, with 30 seconds remaining in the clock, will be resuming from its back line. When we are reaching the end of this first jagger, here we see Juan Martín Nero playing towards the left. And now Pablo, ready to pick it up. Here comes Pablo McDonald. Challenged there by Nachi Duplessis. Long approach by Pablo, and in the pickup here, Barto Castagnola. When we listen to the first bell, so 30 seconds remaining until the game stops. Now Polito again. Nice pickup by Polito. Nice individual action. The hooking by Sapo still. And now Barto Castagnola. 15 seconds remaining. The approach by Barto Castagnola from a long distance. The ball goes wide to the left-hand side, and this will end checker number 1 here at the Hurlingham Club. La Natividad is on the lead 2-1 over Murus Santos. We'll be back shortly on AAP Live with checker number 2.
Estamos re bien. La perdimos en el throw, Nachi. Culpa nuestra de los de adelante, pero después Juanma. Juanma.
Gordo.
Cada uno con su hombre.
Solpere de tercera.
Después nos tapan, después no tenemos tiro.
Sí,
más rápido. Si nos apura uno, le hacemos un muñecazo. Así que sale el bajando. Nos afanamos bajando, Nachi. No hagas un swing tan amplio. Cuando tiene apura, se le hace un cachetazo. Vos vas por lo mismo. Vamos. Estamos re bien. Tenemos que ganar 4-1. Vale, estamos perfectos. Vamos. Perfecto. Vamos. Seguimos aquí, vamos. Vamos, Nachi.
Some words there by Pepe Hegui, of course.
Decirle que me esperen, Polín.
La Natividad's coach. And here we see Barto Castagnola asking for everybody to wait for him. This is what he asked for Polito. And as we were saying, Pepe Hegui helping La Natividad from the pony lines. Talking to Lolo, he was telling me that Pepe gives a lot of particular view to the team. He's very calm and he really knows what he has to say to the players. So this is what they like about him. For La Natividad, Camilo on Open, Antojo, Polito on Anaisur, Maru, Lolo on Chalo, La Lulipop, and Nachi on Chalo Tigresa. The horses for La Natividad on this checker number 2. There on the back with the red hat, Benicio Castagnola, brother of Camilo and Barto. Facu, Cachiyuyo, Sportiva, Sapon, Sapo, Loba, Pablo, Irenita, Cuaresma, and Juanma, Irenita, Cuartelada, very strong checker. Considering the horses that Manu Santos have picked, I mean, Cachiyuyo Sportiva, the one that was picked by Facu Sola, is his main one, I mean, his most important one. And it's also not only because she's very good, but also because she is from his family's breeding program, Cachiyuyo. And the game is on here in Hurlingham. The checker number 2 is underway. Now Barto Castagnola with the open back, so trying to link with Nachi. Was trying to reach out for that ball. Very well stopped by the South African now. Nachi again with the back shot, looking for Camilo, but first there, Facundo Sola. And now Juanma, very active in this beginning of the game. Barto Castagnola turning there, and I think this is the first foul in the whole game. So this is showing how much both teams are looking for the win today. There we see the crossing by Juanma over Barto's line. So it's going to be from the spot in favor of green. As we were saying, both teams looking for a quick game. And now Nachi Duplessis resuming. The approach by Nachi Duplessis, looking for Polito Pierre, stopped in the way by Facundo Sola, and now Camilo Castagnola looking from a long distance, trying to link with Polito, but first there, Pablo McDonough. Nice action there by Pablo, nice resolve and taking some risk. Of course, he has a lot of talent to do things like that. And now Sapo Cassette approaching the ball on the left-hand side, the ball goes over the boards, and let's see which team taps it last. To see who will be resuming. Okay, so a drop ball in favor of La Natividad. He comes very quickly, resuming the game. Nachi Duplessis going to give some reading to this game. Juan Manero. And now again, Nacho Duplessis starting to take a look at the post. Leaving it for Camilo, but first there, Sapo Cassette very active to reach out for the ball first. And now Juan Manero to the left-hand side to link with Facundo Sola. Nice covering there by Barto Castagnolo. What a right off there by Facu over Barto. The approach by Juan Manero to link again with Facundo Sola. And now Barto Castagnola taking the danger away. Polito now looking for Camilo. Now Sapo Cassette. Nice action by Sapo. Open to the left hand side. Here comes Guillermo Cassette hitting at goal. And the ball goes wide to the left hand side. And it'll be La Natividad receiving from the back. Still on the lead by 1 halfway through this checker number 2 out of 8 that will be played today here in Hurlingham. Already El Ertina won the Tortugas Open, and now who will win the second leg of the Triple Crown? Both teams then will be playing against each other inside League B at the Argentine Open. And now Camilo trying to win it on the near side. Nice back shot by Pablo. Now Sapo giving some continuity there, but there first it will be Nachi Duplessis with that under the neck approach. Now Sapo again taking the danger ways. Nachi coming from behind the ball, staying there. Pablo McDonough contesting for it, and now Juanma reaching out for the ball. A new whistle, only the second one in this game.
No, necesitamos primero comunicarme con... Primero comunicarme con...
Está con más línea el 4 azul, ¿no?
El 4 azul y lo toca atrás.
One of the officials is saying that the blue player had more line. So they're going to a penalty 4 from 60 yards in favor of Murus Sanctus. Here we're going to see it again. Sapo with the back shot on the near side. Pablo McDonough. And there, Juan Manero picking the line and crossing over Nachi Duplessis. So it's going to be a penalty 4 from 60 yards in favor of La Natividad. In favor of Murus Sanctus, sorry. With the chance of setting the equalizer. Of course, it will be Guillermo Cassette. 22 goals so far in this Hurlingham Open, the same amount as Camilo Castagnola. Due to safety reasons, of course. Some people moving away from the area. So Guillermo Cassette from Lobos with the chance of tying the game in 2 with this penalty 4 from 60 yards. And Sapo Cassette stopped in the way, coming from behind Facundo Sola. And the whistle, I think, is going to be a safety now in favor of Murus Sanctus. After that penalty by Sapo, he will have a second attempt now on a safety penalty. Placing the ball again, Guillermo Cassette. Next to him, Juan Manero, of course, in case La Natividad stops the ball and set a counter-attacking opportunity. Nero will be giving a hand to his team, of course, in defense. And now Sapo Cassette to take it. Halfway through the second, Guillermo Cassette, the ball passing by. It goes wide to the left-hand side, and La Natividad still on the lead by 1. Nachi Duplessis with a very long approach, looking for Polito. At first there is Pablo McDonough, chased there by Camilo Castagnola. Nice marking by Camilo. Nice approach by La Natividad's number 1. Here comes Geta Castagnola, hitting at goal. And the ball goes in by Camilo Castagnola. After having won that contest against Pablo McDonough, he picked it up, he took it all the way, and from a very open angle, Camilo Castagnola scoring his first one today to extend the lead in favor of La Natividad, and now with 3-1 to the green jersey team. And now again, trying to win it over. Juan Manero with the open back shot, trying to link with Facundo Sola. Nice right off by Barto. And now Nacho Plessis, a little bit crossed over Sapo's line with time enough to turn over the ball. And now Pablo McDonough. Here comes Pablo, marked by his cousin Polito. Nice angle by Pablo McDonough, open to the right-hand side, trying to take that under the next shot. The ball passing by, and first there will be Barto Castagnola playing towards the board. And also Camilo Castagnola running up front, coming to give a hand. It was Polito Pieles, but now the ball was stopped by Camilo. Over the marking of Sapo Cassette. Nice action by Camilo, coming from a different angle. It is Barto. Here comes Barto Castagnola, open to the right-hand side, chased by Facundo Sola. One more approach by the eldest of Lolo's sons. And Facu, now Juanma, trying to set the counter-attack. Here comes Juan Martinero. Nice approach. Look the way he rides as well. So smooth. Juan Manero with the approach. It starts going wide to the right-hand side. Here comes Juanma with the under-the-neck approach, hitting that goal, and the ball goes wide to the right-hand side. And with a minute and 10 seconds remaining here at Hurlingham field number 1, La Natividad is on the lead, 3-1 over Murus. Barto from the back. Barto Castagnola to link with his brother. What an angle by Camilo Castagnola. How did he do to find all that space? Here comes Camilo with the long approach. Straight at goal. One more attempt by Camilo into the 30s. And Camilo Castagnola to score back-to-back goals for La Natividad. And now it's 4-1 in favor of the green jersey team. When they were in between checkers, Pepe said to them, okay, you should be leading 4-1, but keep on going like this. And now La Natividad is leading 4-1 into the last moments of this jacket number 2. I don't know if there's going to be time enough for one more play. And now Camilo again. What a momentum for La Natividad in these last moments when we listen to the first bell. The approach by Camilo Castagnola from an open angle, looking for Nacho Plessis, and of course struggling to get the danger out of there. Pablo McDonough playing towards the balls. Nice action by Pablo. Now Nacho Plessis with the back shot, trying to take it all the way in. Nice pick up there by Juanma. Juan Manero into the last 10 seconds of play of this jacket number 2. Nice pick up by Pablo McDonough. 4, 3, 2. Let's see if he can take one more last approach. Pablo McDonough. And here comes the final bell of jacket number 2. After 2 periods of play here in Hurlingham, La Natividad is leading 4-1 over Murus Sanctus. We'll be back shortly here from the Hurlingham Club with jacket number 3.
Vamos, a no relajar un segundo.
No, no puedes relajar, ni se habla esa palabra, dale.
Vamos, Cumbia, Dale, Barto, viejo,
Bien, Barto. Con cabeza, vamos a pegarle más tranquilo al arco. Bien, Polines. Tenemos allí, con la misma gana, pero con cabeza. Sin hacerle fraude, nos tenemos
Vamos, Getita, vamos, Ignacio, vamos.
So here we are back in Hurlingham for jacket number 3, La Natividad on the lead, while we take a look at the top scorers list. Facundo Pieles on top of it with 26, followed by Camilo Castagnola 24, Sapo 22, and then Adolfo Cambiaso, the senior and junior, sharing the position number 4 with 17 goals apiece. So interesting to listen the words there at La Natividad's corner. Polito was saying, impossible to say the word relaxation, okay? I don't want to hear that word. Stay like that. Well done, Barto, and of course, all players cheering up for the other. And here we see Pablo McDonough. And Juan Manero, of course, ready to jump on the field again for the third checker. As we were saying, La Natividad is leading by 3. The second check, well, we take a look at the horses. Camilo on Escriba, Laika, Polito on La Tía Payana, Barto on La Tía Ramona, Nachi on Van Crystal. The horses by La Natividad. The check number 3 will be resumed with a throw-in. Facu Sola, Open Sovietica, Sapo on Antugalung, Ani Chica, Pablo on Irenita Entusiasta, and Juanma on Abrojito Cafiolo. As I was saying before, check number 2 came to an end with a long approach by Pablo McDonough and the second bell, so this is why it's going to be resumed with a throw-in from the center to the boards. Here, of course, all the players lining up. And of course, I want to say hi to my friend Nico Curto. They're there in Indonesia. They woke up at 3 a.m. to watch and follow this final on AAP Live. So it's great to hear about you, Nico. Hope you're doing well over there. And now Polito again picking it up after the lineup. The game is on. Polito, now Juan Manero with the back shot. Playing towards the other end, and now Camilo again. Sapo to change the angle here. Pablo McDonough picking it on the near side, and now Juan Martinero. Nice pickup by Juanma, chased by Nachi Duplessis, and now Barto Castañola changing the angle here. And Barto on Ramona, but nice recovery now by Sapo. Here comes Guillermo Caset playing to the right-hand side, the approach there, and now taking the danger away was Polito Pires, and now Camilo trying to pick it up. Sapo Caset from a long distance, hitting at goal, and the ball goes wide to the left-hand side. And La Natividad will be resuming from the back in this beginning of jacket number 2. Jacket number 3, sorry. And here comes Nachi. Duplessis with the long approach, looking for Barto Castañola. Nice angle there by Barton. Nice rider by Juan Manero. Now Pablo again picking it up. Camilo. 2 goals today scored by Camilo, 2 by Polito are giving the lead to La Natividad so far in this game. Polito again changing from the near side to the open side, coming from behind. Nachi again, the marking by Sapo, and Nachi linking with Camilo Castañola. He will hit from there, the approach by Camilo, stopped in the way by Facundo Sola, and now Pablo McDonough taking it to the other end. Nice pickup by Barto Castañola, but the marking of Sapo Caset. The ball staying in behind, and again Facu looking for Pablo McDonough. Nice approach by Pablo over the marking of Camilo Castañola. Nice recovery by Camilo. And now Nachi with the back shot, linking very well with Polito. This is Bartolome Castañola Jr. with the approach. The ball goes over the boards. But imagine the genetics of these guys. Camilo and Barto, son of Lolo Castañola and Camilo Cambiaso. So that is possibly the best you can get. And now Pablo McDonough open to the left-hand side. Challenge there by Nachi Duplessis, very well stopped by Sapo, and now again Pablo McDonough hitting at goal from an open angle, stopped in the way by Camilo Castañola. What a way to defend as well by La Natividad. Camilo trying to set a counter-attacking opportunity. He comes, hit Castañola, chased by Pablo. One more approach by Camilo, who was looking for his brother, but nice recovery by Sapo Caset, who is not getting many chances so far in this game. Polito now with the open back shot, and now Camilo Here comes Camilo Castagnola, and here lies a very interesting opportunity for La Natividad. Here comes Camilo, the ball still in his possession. Camilo Castagnola from the box to the center. One more approach, the ball staying in behind, and now Facundo Sola coming from behind to pick it up. Barto, and now Sapo. Guillermo Caset playing the final of this tournament for the third time in his career, if I'm not mistaken. The approach by Barto Castagnola, but there was a whistle. The time is out. I think it's going to be a penalty from the midfield line in favor of Blue. The approach here. Okay, they're calling the foul against Nacho Plessis, crossed over Chapo's hit. So it's going to be a 5B in favor of Murus Sanctus, while we are here with Camilo Castagnola, who is coming to get some fresh legs for the remaining minutes of this jacket number 3. And now Juan Martinero placing the ball. It's also great to see Juanma inside the field. I mean, he got injured halfway through the English season on a game between, I think it was BP Polo against Talandracas. He got injured. He had to go through a recovery. He missed the season in Soto Grande, but now he's back in full swing in Argentina and in great shape. Chapo Caset picking it up, open to the right-hand side, challenged by Barto Castagnola, saved at the end by Nacho Duplessis. What a way of defending by La Natividad. Now Juanma picking it up, nice backshot to link with Chapo Caset, nice angle. Nice link in between these two, and now Barto Castagnola taking it away. And the opportunity to save one more counter-attacking chance, but the ball goes over the boards and it will be in favor of Murus Santos. Look who's there. Russo A, of course, coaching Murus Santos, following every single step of his guys. And now Juanma, after the drop ball in their favor. Juan Manero from a long distance looking for the net. The ball starting to get wide to the right-hand side, and it'll be La Natividad resuming from the back. And now Nachi again. There, of course, Lolo Castagnola and Patani. Barto now, very well standing as a number 3, trying to send his team in attack, but first there will be Juan Manero. I was going to say under pressure by Juanma, playing as a back. He's never under pressure where he has to take a back shot. And now Barto Castagnola, nice turning by La Natividad, number 3. What an angle by Barto Castagnola, trying to get inside the danger zone here. Barto Castagnola with one more approach coming from behind was Camilo Castagnola, but nice defense by Pablo McDonough. Nachi Duplessis taking a shot at goal on that back shot, but the ball goes wide to the right-hand side. Look who's there, Maru Botana, of course, a very close friend of Facundo Sola, a celebrity in Argentina. Maru, a chef. Now, a timeout. I think there was a problem with the horse. And Murus Santos will be resuming from the back. With 55 seconds remaining in this jacket number 3 out of 8 that will be played today here in Hurlingham, and Juan Manero will be resuming the action here. Juanma with the first approach. On him is Pablo Pieres. Juanma to the left-hand side, linking with Pablo McDonough. Pablo McDonough trying to take it all the way to the other end. One more approach by Pablo, still in possession of the ball, never losing it. And now Juanma linking again with Pablo over the marking of Nachi Duplessis, but
Para mí no, la querés ver, para mí queda perfecto.
I was going to say what is it that I saw, but it was very clear what the officials said. One of them said, I think the guy who was marking was on the other side, and the other one said, from my point of view, it wasn't.
Okay,
So
throw in.
they went to the third man to check the play, and it was no foul, so it's going to be a throw-in.
No,
because
muchachos, es throwing, es throwing.
it's not that.
Los espero a todos. Tranquilo. Vamos. ¿Estamos?
There was a team with a clear possession of the ball to be a drop ball. And now Barto Castagnola with the back shot on the near side to take the danger away. Now Polito Pieres into the last 30 seconds of play of this jacket number 3. Here comes Polito. One more approach, chased by Sapo Cassette. And now Camilo Castagnola trying to link again with Polito. Now Pablo McDonough playing towards the boards. Polito again. A very nice read by Pablo Pieres. And now Pablo McDonough taking his time to think about the next move in favor of Murus Santos. Chased by Camilo Castagnola. Nice action by Pablo. Crossing over the midfield line. Nice breakaway by Pablo. Here comes Pablo McDonough, the former player with La Dolphina, now with Murus Santos. Here comes Pablo. Starting to take a look at the post. Pablo McDonough from the box to the center, trying to get inside the last move to find a clear hit, but a foul and a whistle. So this will end checker number 3 here again. We take a look at the move by Pablo McDonough. The write-off by Polito over Sapo. The change of angle here by Pablo. Nacho Plessis standing still over Pablo's line. So a fouling. Too close. Check number 3. So here in Hurlingham at the Hurlingham Club, La Natividad is leading 4-1 over Murus Santos. We'll be back shortly here live on AAP Live with check number 4.
Sí, pero le pegué mal. Sí, sí, pero le pegué mal.
Que cualquier persona lo puede poner, ¿eh? Si él está viendo saltar con 90 años, cualquiera puede, porque no sé qué, me cuesta 90 años.
¿Eso?
¿Sabes dónde jugaba, la familia, igual te dejan educar.
Es faula a favor nuestro, ¿no? ¿Eh?
No, ahí a donde va la bocha.
Sí.
O cuando viene sola te vas para un lado.
No, me voy a ir sola y ya medio que ahí me cagan.
No, quédate con sola.
Bueno, metete en la corta con sola
Sí,
y yo
claro.
corro para atrás.
Claro, metete con sola. Métetelo
Vamos
sola.
a ganarles
Pará,
este
vamos de
cháquer,
vuelta, ordenadito y a pegarle más a la pelota. Tírenle el arco, no dejemos la pelota adentro, vamos.
Uy, perdón.
Bien parecido a foul. Vamos, aquí, vamos. Bien.
Avísame vos, boludo. A mí no veo para atrás.
Cuidémonos del foul, dale, vamos.
Yo te estaba siguiendo con el cable.
It's always interesting to listen to what they are saying there in the pony lines. Pepe is saying, shoot more at goal, shoot more at goal. Don't let the ball in. Shoot at goal when you have the chance to do it. And then some words between Nachi, Polito, and Camilo about the markings. About Camilo taking Paco Sola. So here we are at the Hurlingham Club into the fourth checker. La Natividad is on the lead for 1, but I don't know if,
Vamos Nachi viejo,
I think it was Facu Sola who was receiving some assistance. So maybe this will take some more minutes while we see Barto Castagnola on the field. Still a goalless game for Barto, but La Natividad leading by 3, which is the most important thing for Barto for sure in this moment. So the horses for this jacket number 4 before reaching the halftime. Camilo on Luca, Trollo, Polito, Machitos, Viena, Barto on Lovelock's Drogba, and Nachi on El Overo Fisura. El Overo Fisura won the BPP award at the Jockey Club Open, ridden by Barto, if I'm not mistaken, and then Lovelock's Drogba was played by Barto during the English season with a lot of impact. So I guess that for Charlie Hambury, it's great to see. It's great to see him around in Argentina. And also another product of Lovelock's is Lovelock's Sex, which is on Nachi's list. So Sapo getting ready to get back in the field. So for Murus, Facundo on Dolfina, como olvidarte, Sapo on Anaisur X, Pablo on Irenita, Destreza and Juanma on JM Varsovia. The horses for this jacket number 4 before reaching the halftime. We're here live on AAP Live Worldwide with this final of the Hurlingham Open. Both La Natividad and Murus Santos looking for their first ever Triple Crown title. And for La Natividad, this is their first ever Triple Crown final as well, since they start playing. I mean, actually they played the Triple Crown back in 2012 and 2013, and then they came back in 2019 with the kids back in 2012 and 2013. Of course, Lolo was part of the team. Some words there between one of the officials and Pablo Pires regarding a previous play, not the last one of the jacket number 3. So let's see what's going to happen here. Let's see if we can listen to the umpires when they explain to the players what they will call.
Capitán, ¿está bien? Perfecto. Muchachos.
Okay, guys.
Capitanes, entendemos que la jugada
Captains.
viene en posición de vuelta del jugador azul, ¿sí? El jugador verde estaba tomado, sale como era azul y el verde se queda parado interfiriendo.
Okay, the blue player was in possession of the ball, and then the green player stayed still when the blue player took the angle to go over to the goal. So this is what it's going to be. I think it is spotter 30. Let's see. They're placing the ball on the 30-yard mark, so penalty 2 in favor of Murus Santos. The first attempt they will have on that
No,
distance.
no pusimos sale, ¿sabes qué? Se la dejo ahí, se la tiro. Gracias. La explicación te la di clara. Gracias.
¿Cuánto tiempo le quedaría? ¿Tenés vos, negro? ¿Tuviste la mano ahí?
Vamos.
So here we see Guillermo Caset ready to take that penalty 2 from 30 yards, with the opportunity of closing the gap in this beginning of jacket number 4. I think Facu Sola is still receiving some assistance.
Vamos, Facu, hijo, dale. Vamos, Facu.
So here we see Facu Sola back in business for this jacket number 4, which will be kicking off with a penalty 2 in favor of Murus Santos to close the gap very quickly into this period out of 8 that will be played today. And in a few moments, I'm gonna be welcoming our guest commentator for today. What we have on screen again, Guillermo Caset looking for his first goal today after a couple of attempts from 60 yards and also on a safety. Here comes Guillermo Caset scoring for Murus Santos to close the gap. And now it's 4-2 for La Natividad, and now I want to take the opportunity to welcome our guest commentator for today. He's part of the club. He also holds a very strong link with Hurlingham, Pepe Santamarina. Where thank you for being with us today, and I know that this is always a very special occasion for the club. the Hurlingham Open.
Thank you very much, Andres. It's a great opportunity to say hello to everybody around the world and to welcome to the oldest and one of the most important tournaments in the world.
While we see Pablo McDonough trying to take the ball inside the danger zone, but the ball goes wide to the right-hand side. So still Natividad on the lead by 2, and also Pepe, I think that this is a very special, I guess that this is very special because this final is different, because after today's game, a new organization will be crowned champion in the history of the Argentine Triple Crown.
Absolutely. We have several of the players that they never won this tournament, and it's an extra part of our story. So for us, it's really nice and important.
And now Pablo McDonough open to the right-hand side with the approach with that under the neck hit, and Barto Castañola struggling to get it off, but the ball ended up going in, and Murus Santos closing the gap again. Now it's 4-3 with Pablo scoring his first one today. And as we were talking with Pepe just a couple of seconds ago, while we take a look at the replay, the last time, Pepe, that in the Argentine Triple Crown, nor La Dolfina nor La Erstina were in the final was 13 years ago, and also here in Hurlingham. You remember that moment, I guess?
Yes, absolutely. 2008 was Pilará against La Guada, so we had to wait a long time to see this.
And now Nacho Duplessis on the turning after that. Very nice approach by Facundo Sola, playing to the left-hand side to link with Barto Castañola. The was standing behind again. Nachi picking it up on the near side. And now Barto. Now La Natividad is on the lead by 1 in this beginning of check number 4 before reaching the halftime. Now Camilo with the backshot trying to give some continuity to that move. Now again Camilo Castañola placing the ball from an open angle, stopped by Sapo. Again, Barto Castañola trying to get involved in that play. Nice pickup by Nacho Duplessis. Polito now, and stopped in the way again. Polito, when he was reaching out for the ball, I think Pablo was staying a little bit still over Polito's line, but we're gonna check the replay here.
Gracias.
Let's see. Camilo there, now Nacho Duplessis. Finally picked by Polito, stopped by Juanman, then Polito very quickly going to pick that line, and a very interesting opportunity now for La Natividad to extend the lead and cut the momentum by Murus Santos. Here comes Camilo from the spot, and Camilo Castañola scoring the first penalty attempt of the day in favor of La Natividad. 3 goals today for Camilo Castañola, whom I was saying before, Pepe, only 18 years of age. I don't know what's going to happen from today to the end of the year, but should he get raised to 10 goals, he will become the youngest ever to reach 10 goals. So this is history in the making as well.
Absolutely, and also you have to think that he has a broken hand. So imagine if he would be 100%. You know, his left hand is broken, and we were doubting his appearance today, so it's double effect.
Definitely so. Halfway through the fourth, La Natividad gets some fresh air for the many minutes on the lead by 2 again. And now Juanma, challenged there by Polito. Nice action there to link with Pablo McDonough. Nice recovery in the back by Barto Castañola, but very quickly on returning around was Juan Manero, and now Polito again picking it up. Here comes Polito Pieres with the approach, looking for Nacho Duplessis. The ball passes by Barto Castañola trying to pick it up on the near side, and now Sapo Caset to the other end. Here comes Sapo trying to set a counter-attacking opportunity now in favor of Murus, and now Pablo McDonough picking it up again, running over the midfield line. Nice breakaway by Pablo McDonough, chased by Nacho Duplessis. The approach by Pablo, the marking by Nacho Duplessis, and the ball goes wide to the right-hand side. Still La Natividad by 2 with less than 2 minutes remaining in this check number 4. A timeout now. I don't know if there is a horseshoe now, but there we see everything getting set to resume with South African Nacho du Plessis. Resuming from the back for La Natividad, the approach by Nachi, killing with Barto Castagnola. Here comes Barto with the approach, looking for his brother. Here comes Camilo with the marking of Pablo McDonough. He couldn't hit properly. Now Facundo Solana again. Camilo with the approach, looking for Polito. Nice recovery now by Pablo, taking the danger away. Now Sapo again. Nice marking now, nice recovery by Nacho du Plessis. And again approaching the ball was also Polito Pérez, and the whistle with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining. A good opportunity now for Murus, who maybe at the same time, while we take a look at the replay, I know that you have many activities today during the final, but it looks as if Murus is finding the best form again, and they're making a very interesting comeback in this chapter.
Yes, absolutely. I think that slowly they are getting the rhythm. I think at the very beginning the speed of the young boys of La Natividad was making difference. Now slowly they are getting into more rhythm, and yes, as you can see also they are getting closer on the board. You know that it's interesting to say that Nachi du Plessis, we had many South African players. Sugar Erskine was playing here, but Nachi is the highest South African player that we had here. Also, I have to mention that 80 years ago, 88 actually, a South African team was losing the final of the Argentine Open.
Oh wow!
So there's a rich history in South African polo.
And now Sapo, after that opportunity he had from 60 yards, now Pablo McDonough with the approach, but the ball ended up going wide to the right-hand side, and La Natividad remains on the lead by 2 years. I had the chance to speak with Nachi a couple of weeks ago, saying me that due to the pandemic and everything, he didn't have many chances to go back to South Africa, but I'm guessing, Pepe, that he's receiving a lot of support from there.
Absolutely. I'm sure also from Egypt. You know, Gavin is also.
Oh yes, Gavin Chaplin.
Absolutely, I'm sure that they're super teacher and super player from the 70s and 80s, and so there's a rich history in South African polo.
And now Barto Castagnola picking it up again, open to the right-hand side, to link with Polito Pérez. Nice approach on the near side, and Juan Manero with the backside, linking with Pablo. Coming from behind was Barto. Nice pick up by Barto Castagnola, trying to take it all the way. The marking by Juan Manero. When we listen to a whistle, I think that my doubt here, Pepe, is if the foul was before the first bell, so that would lead to a penalty in this very checker, or they were playing already on the first bell, but I think that there's going to be time enough for this penalty.
I think so. Andres, many messages from all around the world. Let me say hello to Slovakia, my home country. Then USA, Toby Wayman, the voice of
my colleague, a great guy.
Yes, absolutely,
guy,
is watching us. So let me say hello, and of course Tommy Wayman, that he played also here with Mar del Plata. So they are all watching all around the world.
And Camilo Castagnola, what a way again to close the checker, scoring, and this will end the first half. We're reaching the halftime with La Natividad on the lead, 6-3. What an advantage for La Natividad, coming back from a momentum by Murus Sanctus. So now, Pepe, while the players are getting inside their corner and everything, I want to talk about a little bit about the history of this club, because I think we were talking about this the other day at the official presentation of the Argentine Open in Pilar. Many people here, to everybody saying, okay, the Hurlingham Open is the most ancient polo open in the world, but how many years so far, and in so many places this tournament have moved. Also the name of the tournament has changed, but at the end more than 128 years.
128. We are watching now the oldest polo field in Argentina, the first polo field that got boards because people, the rules, they change a lot during the history of the game. You have to imagine that at one point we were playing with offside, without boards, and all that change of rules were seen by this field. And the Argentine Open was played here for 34 years. Before we had it we hosted in Palermo. So this was basically the origin of polo in Argentina is Hurlingham, and until the 60s and 70s we were having here the most important players. Coronel Suarez was having his horses here. I'm sure saying hello to everybody at Coronel Suarez, and also many years we have international committees, from England, from India, from South Africa, and they used to live at the hotel, because here not many players, they know that we have 22 rooms in the clubhouse, so you can stay and you can live at the clubhouse. And well, members of the royal family, all of the members of the royal family that came to Argentina, they passed through Hurlingham. Prince Edward VII came here. Yeah. Yes, he played, and not only he played, he came specially for the wedding of Louis Lacy, and so it's a really rich story. And of course, with the British community, it's even bigger.
No, but you were mentioning just a couple of seconds ago Louis Lacy, because you were talking about the history of this field, but this field is named after him, after Louis Lacy, right?
Absolutely. For us, was our first tango player, and actually, if you look at the story of the game, he was the first real ambassador, polo ambassador, because he was playing for England, he was playing for Argentina. He was invited to play in the Olympics in 1924, and of course he was invited by the British, but he said, I have so many friends in Argentina that I could not compete against Argentina. So he was not playing, being of course the best player at that time, 10 goals. No, a real gentleman. So as you know, this tournament also gives jackets to the winners. And we made a big change this year. We make them more modern in order for the players to use them all around the world. And inside the jackets.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That would be a challenge for I don't know if I saw many times Barto and Camilo or even Facu Sola wearing jackets many times in their lives.
I don't know. Maybe not even at school. So it's going to be quite a challenge. But inside the jackets, it's a copy of the jacket of Louis Lacy that he was using in 1922 when Argentina first took an international team and was competing in England and in the UK, and they were winning absolutely everything. That was the time where Argentina really was put on the map of polo.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I listened the other day to the story about Louis Lacy and the Olympics in 1924 when they were hosting Paris. And as he was holding, I understand, a British passport, he couldn't play for Argentina, and then he received the invitation and everything that he said. And, well, I don't know what's going to happen in 2024 when the Olympics are back in Paris. I had the chance. I don't know if you've ever been to Paris and Bagatelle, Pepe, but you know that they host polo as an Olympic sport back in 1924. They are still playing the Open de Paris there. So it would be great if they at least played an exhibition or something,
Absolutely. Those kind of traditions are really basically the I would say the secret of this. What makes this sport unique? Keeping those traditions. Here we try to do that, and sometimes it's not so easy, but we are trying really hard.
So while we wait for the players to be back on the field, there in the backdrop, a lot of people also enjoying a drink and maybe a bite as well. Here we have Polito, 2 goals today. A guy, Pepe, who after playing for La Natividad back in 2012 with Lolo, he came back to play with the kids. I had a talk with him the other day after the semi-final. He's feeling so at home, he moved to Cañuelas for the season, and I think that, it was a challenge last year. Everybody was speaking about, Camilo's position in the field, Polito's position in the field, that they were very similar, but it looked as if on this year they're finding a system, right?
Absolutely. I think that Polito, he's a good friend, and the investment also that he made on horses, as you said before, he moved to Cañuelas, trying to look at every single detail in order to have a successful season. And I think that so far they are having a really good season. Today he's playing 10 goals again.
Yeah, definitely. So La Natividad on the lead by 3. Also on screen, Eduardo Egui coaching Murus Sanctus.
Yes, two-time winner of the Hurlingham Open. Twice winning with his father, Daniel Gonzalez, and Pepe. You know, he was never able to win with Nachi. Even in the very good days of Chapalutu 2, they were very successful in Palermo, but not here.
Yeah, I remember those days. What I mean, while we go through the horses, Camilo is on 50 Galaxy, Polito on Monkey Puzzle, Barto on La Tia Ramona. He already used it on the second, and Nachi on Machitos Galilea. And of course, awaiting now for the players from Murus to reach the midfield line for the initial throwing of the second half, and to go through their horses as well for this check number 5. Here we see Facu on Peña Universal, Sapo on Sani, Pablo on Shatai Kit Kat, and Juanma on JM Lagartija. The chance also of hearing in the back, Pepe, those words by the umpire with Polito. I mean, it's a final. Of course, you're playing over your usual revolutions, you know.
Absolutely. Andres, let me mention Santi Trots, that it's in charge of the Polo field here in Hurlingham, and that makes a hell of a job. And the secret of today's game, I think it's a big portion is over there on the stage of the field.
And now Sapo Cassette already underway the second half here at the Louis Lacy ground at the Hurlingham Club. And now Camilo Castagnola over the marking of Juan Manero. Nice action by Camilo. Close to him is also Nacho Duplessis. Challenge now by Guillermo Cassette. Sapo with the back shot to take the danger away. While we listen to a whistle now.
Le queda así para adelante, el azul. Yo lograría un lugar.
Camilo maybe receiving a bumping. Let's take a look again here.
Le
Sí, muchachos.
Le cobras foul al verde.
Al uno verde, correcto.
Ok. Por eso está posicionado el azul bien.
Correcto.
Y el verde.
Leve rebote para acá. Pega el azul.
Lugar azul.
Estamos esperando
so there we listen, Pepe, to the umpires having a word saying, okay, you're calling a foul against the one green. Because basically the blue player was on a clear hit, and then the green player approaching him. And also Camilo now, Pepe, if I'm not mistaken, receiving some assistance, no? I saw the ambulance approaching him.
I think by the time Juanma was trying to hit that back shot, he was hitting him on the stomach, on the ribs, I think so.
Well, Pepe, I want to take this opportunity also to ask you about some other activities that the club is hosting now regarding polo, because not only is the Hurlingham Open, I mean, the Prince of Wales, I don't know in English if it's the Prince of Wales Trophy, Cup, Open, how do you call it, but I think, I mean, in Spanish we usually call it Copa Príncipe de Gales, so I guess it would be Prince of Wales Cup, right? With many teams, I got to see the fixtures.
12 teams, see, I was mentioning before the visits of the royal family. Actually, the last one was Prince Harry, but 1999 Prince Charles came and we played an exhibition here. I will tell you the whole story when we have a couple of minutes, but he brought the trophy, and since then we are playing that trophy that is just after the Hurlingham Open. So we play on these fields, and so we have the feeling as we are the Castagnolas, and we have the chance to play here. So it's a nice feeling. We invite everybody around the world to come and enjoy this tournament, and come and bring your own team. Actually, we are playing it this year 10 goals is the handicap of the teams.
Nice. And now from the spot, Juan Manero resuming for Murus with the approach to the left-hand side, chased by Pablo Pérez. Polito with the marking, a new whistle. I'm not sure, I didn't get to see at first sight anything, so let's see if we have the replay to figure out. That's interesting. This is what the umpires do since at least the last 2 years, showing with their arm towards the goal where the penalty will be taken to. and the 3 fingers showing that it's going to be from 30 yards. So Sapo Cassette now to close the gap into the beginning of this check number 5 with this penalty too. Sapo Cassette scoring for Murus Sanctus, and now it's 6-4 in favor of La Natividad over Murus Sanctus. I was thinking about Sapo and thinking about all the history that was made on this club. Back in 2017, Alegría with Sapo Cassette became, I think, the first team after El Ertina to beat that historical foursome of La Dolfina, and then they reached the final of the Hurlingham. Then they couldn't beat El Ertina, but
that's correct.
What a moment there.
That's correct. That was really... Oh, Polito again.
And Polito Pérez scoring for La Natividad, showing all that speed.
Polito is on fire today. Polito is on fire.
Here again, after the first attempt, the last tapping by Pablo Pérez. 3 goals today to extend the lead. Now it's 7-4 on a game which will be played on 8 tackles today. And now Pablo McDonough getting there first with the back shot, linking with Sapo Cassette. Nice under the neck approach by Sapo, looking for Facu Sola. Nice pick up by Facu, open to the right hand side. Facu Sola, one more approach. Nice marking by Polito Pérez. Nachi Duplessis now with the open back shot to take the danger away. Nice linking with Camilo Castagnola. And here comes Camilo, chased by Sapo. One more approach. They were staying in behind. And Guillermo Cassette. Nice pick up by Barto now. Barto Castagnola open to the left hand side, marked by Facundo Sola. Nice marking by the guy from Córdoba. And now Sapo Cassette. Nice pick up by Sapo, chased by Barto Castagnola. Sapo Cassette from a long distance, hitting that goal. The ball goes wide to the right hand side, and now Polito playing towards the ball. One more approach. Nice turn there by Pablo Pérez. Here comes Polito, trying to set an attacking opportunity. Nice breakaway by La Natividad. Number 2, what a run, trying to win this head-to-head against Pablo McDonough. Here comes Polito Pérez. Nice approach to take it all the way. What a breakaway by Polito Pérez. The final approach, and the ball hitting the post. Camilo Castagnola following up that race by Polito Pérez and completing the play to score one more time. It doesn't matter, Pepe, if it's one or another, but for La Natividad, it's one more goal.
Andres, I think we are watching a very good game of polo. I don't know if the people from all around the world on the TV they are realizing, but this is super polo. We are not used to play this sort of open and very fast game.
Amazing. There we see the follow-up by Camilo Castagnola, never giving up, and scoring 5 goals today, Camilo. And now Sapo linking with Juanma. The approach by Juan Manero, looking for Facundo Sola. Here comes Facu, looking for his first goal today. Facundo Sola with the last approach to find the net as well to close the gap. Now La Natividad is winning 8-5. They close the gap, and at the same time, Pepe, you were talking about the speed of this game, and I think that if so far the umpires blew the whistle 5 times, I think it was it, no more than that.
Absolutely. Andres, let me say that important this goal for Facundo. Facundo needs some confidence, and it's really important for him. I think we need to see a little bit more of him. Here he's going.
And now Sapo Cassette with the pickup on the near side. One more approach by the guy from Lobos. Nice recovery there by Nachi Duplessis. Here comes Nachi. One more approach. The people cheering up for him. And Juan Manero getting there first. Covering the field there with the back shot on the near side. Nice pickup now by Barto Castagnola. We insist. What a fast-paced game we're watching. Here comes Barto with the approach from a long distance. It starts going wide to the right-hand side. The ball goes over the back line, out of bounds. And Murus Sanctus will be resuming from the back with La Natividad leading by 3. Now Juanma. Juan Manero over the marking of Polito Pérez, linking very well with Pablo, but first there will be Barto Castañola with that open back, so looking for his brother. Here comes Camilo over the marking of Facundo Sola. Here comes Camilo Castañola taking a look at the goal from a long distance. There goes the ball passing by. And Camilo Castañola again finding the net to extend the lead. And now La Natividad, it's on the lead by 4-9-5. What a momentum now for La Natividad, taking the advantage on the speed of its players.
Andres, there is a big group of Polo players watching in Soto Grande, where you have many friends. Hernán Pérez is over there leading that group, and let me say hello to José Manuel also, that is watching this final.
Entre canales.
Yeah, of course.
From Santa Quiteria, great guy.
Yes.
And now Facundo Sola with the back shot, stopped in the way by Barto when we listen to the first bell. So 30 more seconds will be played until the game stops. Now Barto reaching out for the ball, nice back shot, playing towards the board. Nice pick up by Juanma, and unfortunately for him, the ball goes over the board. So this will end checker number 5 here at the Luis Lacy ground at the Hurlingham Club. La Natividad is leading by 4 over Murus Sanctus, 9-5. Pepe, I don't know if they were expecting this 4-goal lead before the game, but for sure, if you take a look at the checker by checker, they managed to take a lead first in the first one, on the second, and now again. So I don't know if they're receiving an order of go and try to win every single checker, but they're not falling behind for sure.
Absolutely. If we think about talking about expectations, this morning when we started to get the messages from Cañuelas, we were waiting for the confirmation of Geta, if he was playing or not. He was doing some stick and ball at 10:30, and then we got that confirmation. So I'm sure that these expectations at that time were not what we are seeing now. As you say correctly, I think that they were able to get and keep the lead, and this is important. They're playing really good. Andres, you know, we're hearing also from England, and we have many friends over there. Roderick from Hurlingham Media, ex-chairman of Cowdrey.
Another colleague,
you know, he's coming in the next days. I'm sure that he's watching this incredible final. Then we have many friends also. Newcastle is a
wow.
Yeah. So let's hear from you guys. We wanna hear from where you're watching us.
Definitely. For example, well, you were talking before about Russo winning the Hurlingham Open one time with Pepe, Daniel Gonzalez, and now what's funny is that he's facing his brother, who is on the opposite side, coaching La Natividad, Russo. And you know that there's those talks that said that Daniel Gonzalez was one of the first ever to start as a coach in Polo, but after him, Nachi, Pepe, Russo, Milo, all of the players who composed Indios Chapalefudos ended up being coaches.
I tell you something. I had the chance to talk many times to Daniel Gonzalez. Daniel Gonzalez, first of all, I have to tell you that he has the record because he was winning here in Hurlingham with 5 different teams.
Oh,
so no one ever. He played 66 with Coronel Suarez. Afterwards, he was winning in 72 with Santana. So he brought all the secrets from Coronel Suarez to Santana, and he made it. And afterwards, he was winning with Chapalefu too. Then he made his own team, Los Cóndores, 1978. We know Los Cóndores was his club, so he was winning there with Horacio Araya, Cacho Merlos, and Celestino Garros. And then he won with Coronel Suarez too in 1983. That even though he was not playing the final because he was injured, Sergio Boudou was replacing him. He has the record with 5 different teams winning here in Hurlingham. And I think that answering your question, he brought, because I asked him, you know, how did you manage to beat Coronel Suarez? And I brought some of the secrets of Juan Carlitos.
Nice. So the game is on here in Hurlingham. Pablo McDonald with that back shot on the near side now. Juanma picking it up, taking some time to think about the next move. The marking by Barto Castagnola. Now Juanma again with the long approach. Dealing with Sapo Cassette. Nice marking by Camilo Castagnola. When we listen to a whistle.
Como hay un tacazo, el verde trata de robar la pelota y le pega en la pata de la yegua. Deja una ventaja. La pelota, el equipo no prospera la jugada.
Perfecto. So very clear was by the umpire.
Sí, no. Entendemos que el verde cuando aprieta a tratar de sacar la pelota le termina pegando un tacazo en la pata. Dejamos, le estoy hablando del capitán. Dejamos que siga por ventaja, la jugada no prospera, volvemos a ese foul. Sí, exacto. No, estamos de acuerdo. Gracias. 40 yardas. Sí, 40.
Okay, so they say that the green player, when he tried to get that back shot, he ended up hitting the horse's leg. He gave some advantage, but
afterwards, yes, they came back to the original penalty, so that's why they're giving it's a 30-yard for Murus Sanctus. You know, Andres, that talking about players winning with different teams. You know, Nero today also, if they win, he's going to be winning with 4 different teams because he won with El Artina, with La Dolfina, of course, now with Murus Sanctus, and also his first title of the Triple Crown was here in 2004 with Chapalofu 1. So, oh my God.
And marking by Sapo Cassette after his penalty was stopped. And La Natividad manages to remain with that 4-goal lead. Interesting to remember about that, those beginnings, those early days of Juanma playing for Chapalefu.
Yes. Vamos con mamá.
And now Polito trying to pick it up on the near side, coming from a different angle was Sapo Cassette at the end to pick it up. The marking by Nachi Duplessis, and now Camilo Castagnola. The marking by Sapo. Nice turning over there. Here comes Camilo, leaving it for Nachi. The approach by Nachi Duplessis, looking for Polito. Across there will be Juan Manero with the back shot. And now Facundo Sola. Nice marking by Barto Castagnola. Coming from behind was Camilo. Taking some time. The approach by Pablo McDonald. Okay, so here we have 2 situations at the end. I think they're going to call a foul against the blue player. Because this is what I listen, at least that the blue player never intended to stop or to change his way. This is what I understand they are calling.
Yes. They say that he never tried to stop the horse. So because of that, they're going to give a yellow card and a 40-yard.
40 entonces.
Perfecto, sí. 40.
Esto va a ser tarjeta amarilla al capitán azul y 40 yardas para verde.
And 40 yards, that's correct.
So they are confirming what Pepe just said. A yellow card awarded to number 3 blue and 40-yard penalty 3 in favor of green. And what an opportunity from a
Es el procedimiento siempre, capitán. Jugada de peligro es con tarjeta y 40 y nos pareció innecesario. No nos parece. Era innecesario el choque. Nos parece innecesario el choque. No, para nada. Gracias. No.
So imagine that a couple of seconds ago they were shooting 30 yards. I think that was an incredible save, and how this can really change. If they are starting to get nervous, you know, I think we're going to start, seeing some mistakes that until now everything was looking at sort of under control. I think nerves are going to start playing a role.
Yeah, definitely. And this guy who's been flawless today, 6 goals, 2 out of 2 on penalties. And with a chance of extending the lead in favor of La Natividad. Camilo Castagnola from 40 yards, and he continues like that. 3 out of 3 on penalties today for Camilo, who is already the top scorer of the Hurlingham Open. 29 so far for Camilo in this competition, and La Natividad extending the lead with a little less than 5 minutes remaining in this check number 5. The importance of the penalties. Usually Sapo, very trustable player, today he's not having the best of days on the penalties. The approach by Camilo Castagnola from a long range. Camilo, and the ball goes again in And La Natividad taking advantage of such a momentum to extend the lead, to take a 6-goal lead, to find the net again. Here we're gonna see the replay. Camilo Castagnola was marking off Pablo McDonald. What an under the neck approach. Not only, Pepe, you have to be full of talent to take that, but how confident you must be in order to take that shot as soon as you pick it up after the throw-in.
Absolutely. I think that this is what is happening now. You know, they're getting more and more confidence, and this is either they stop this momentum, or this is going to be very, very difficult for the last two checkers. Here comes Pablo.
And Pablo McDonald also from a long distance hitting that goal, and the ball goes wide to the right-hand side. La Natividad still on the lead by 6.
It looks as if it's the day for La Natividad. It looks, we'll see. But what we are watching, definitely, Andres, is an incredible game. Incredible game.
Definitely. And now Barto Castagnola from the back for La Natividad with the long approach, linking with Nachi Duplessis, who is now open to the left-hand side, chased by Pablo McDonald. The ball staying in behind. And now getting there first will be Facundo Sola. Nice pickup by Facu. One more approach by Sola. Here comes the guy from Córdoba wearing Murus Sanctus #1 jersey today. But covering the field will be Barto Castagnola. Getting there first and under pressure, taking that back shot to link with Camilo. And Camilo taking the ball all the way to the other end. First there now will be Pablo McDonald on the near side. Nice back shot. Stopped by Facundo Sola. Here comes Facu with the tapping there to link with Guillermo Cassette. Nice pickup by Camilo Castagnola. He attacks, he defends, and he now takes the danger away. Now Sapo turning over the marking off Polito Pérez. Here comes Guillermo Cassette. One more approach from the balls to the center. Still Sapo in possession of the ball. Now on the near side, and the pickup by Camilo Castagnola. Here comes Camilo. 8 goals today for Hita. Here comes Camilo, of course. Already his brother ahead of him. Here comes Camilo again. One more approach by La Natividad's #1, chased by Pablo McDonald. Sapo Cassette answering back very well under pressure. And now nice pickup by Nacho Duplessis. Here comes Nachi over the marking off Juan Manero. And I think, Pepe, that at the very last moment, Juan Manero turned a little bit more than expected.
Porque el 4 azul se tira, iba al revés y después tira de derecho. De todas maneras, creo que 4 verde es quien más cambia la línea.
Sí, nunca cambia derecho para mí, ¿eh? Mira a Nero, por favor.
Tira cogote. Tira cogote el 4 azul.
On the TV, I think it's. They are asking if the Nachi was changing a little bit the line. It looks as if at the very beginning he was trying to take it on the near side, and afterwards he swapped and take it on the other side.
Yeah, they're taking it now with Martín Pascual, who is the third man today, also called the referee.
¿Cómo? Escucho grabado. ¿Cómo, Nero?
Let's see.
So we pick up this idea of listening to.
¿Se tira de derecho al azul últimamente?
I think it's a
se tira de derecho.
Bueno. Much more fun.
Pero ahora fíjate si el verde tira el caballo a la derecha o sigue en su línea. Totalmente por azul. Perfecto. 30 yardas.
30 yardas para verde.
It's a foul for green, 30 yards. They were checking if Nachi was changing the line, and they say that no, he was not changing the line. So.
Capitanes. Vemos lo siguiente, viene la línea verde, le queda el verde viene con la línea derecho, el jugador azul entra a disputar de revés y a último momento se pasa de derecho para pegar cogote, por eso es el contacto y va a ser foul azul, es 30 yardas verde.
Okay, he went first to take it on the near side and moved to the other side to take an under the neck approach. This is what I understood, Pepe, at least.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. And even though it was a contact, they consider that the contact was because Juanma was changing the line. So we are entering in a sort of a danger zone for Murus Santos. It's difficult to, if in 6 checkers you were able to score 5 goals, we'll see. Everything can happen.
And now Camilo with this penalty 2 from 30 yards with a chance of extending the lead in favor of La Natividad. We're flying over him.
You see?
The penalty goes wide to the left-hand side. This is something that we don't get to see very often, Pepe, but it might happen again.
Sometimes, even though when you have a big lead, to keep the concentration is very difficult. And I think it's going to be the challenge for Natividad, no? To keep and to understand that now is the time to keep the pressure and not to look at the board, just look at the man.
And now Juan Manero, challenged there by Camilo Castañola, who is trying to get there first. Pablo is approaching, and at the end, Juanma picking it up. Nice turning by Juanma over the marking of Nachi Duplessis. Still Nero manages to keep the possession of it with the open back shot now. And now the pick up by Barto Castañola. Here comes Barto, trying to take it all the way, the long approach. One more tapping by Barto, trying to win this race against Juanma on the outside, but nice recovery by Juanma. And now Polito picking it up over the marking of Facundo Sola. Nice angle by Polito, nice approach. And now ahead of him is only Sapo Cassette. Nice run by Polito Pierres, trying to get inside the danger zone. The marking by Juanma. One more approach by Pablo Pierres. Juan Manero taking it away. And now Barto Castañola, the danger remains there over the goal of Murus Santos. Now Nachi Duplessis trying to take it all the way. Nice angle, and now Camilo Castañola picking it up again, moving to take an under the neck approach. Two-headed goal, unfortunately for him. He couldn't take it. And now Polito with some time enough to turn over there. Here comes Pablo Pierres, hitting, stopped in the way. And now Juan Manero with Sapo, and now Sapo trying to send his team in attack when we're reaching the first bell. There goes. And now Nachi with that under the neck approach. Nice hit there. Now Facu on the near side taking the danger away. Now again, nice pick up by Pablo Pierres, but the ball goes over the back line.
What a game, yes. What a game.
Checker number 6 here in Hurlingham. La Natividad leading by 6 over Murus Santos. Pepe, you were talking about, you mentioned before kind of how to manage the leading in the game in the key moments, right? And Polito, I think it was from the first checker to the second, or the second to the third, he said, I don't want to listen to the word relaxation today, because that's the key, maybe.
Absolutely.
Cada uno gana el hombre y no pasa nada, que le peguen, le tiren largo, no pasa nada. Pará, ya está. Todo positivo, nos cuidamos mucho de tirémosle más al arco, no nos metamos en quilombo, tirémosle un poquito más al arco.
As Pepe is an expert on this, what he's saying is let's be positive, let's keep our man and try to score from outside. Do not try to enter with the ball. This is a secret. Now, we have already, 6 checkers. The field is suffering, and it's not the same as in the first checker. So you need to play very easy. You need to make it simple. And this is what Pepe is saying. He's an expert on this. Pepe says, it's a very difficult game. So when you have the chance to make things easier, make them easier, not make it complicated.
Sin foul, ordenado y a pegarle, a tirar al arco, no toquetemos nada.
Well, that's the indication, for sure. Not making any fouls and shoot at goal as soon as you have the chance.
Exactly.
This is basically what they've been saying, right? They're leading by 6. They haven't lost a single checker.
Vamos ahora, hombre con hombre. Que no se nos escapen, No nos pasamos largo, dominamos y la recagamos.
Okay, here we have the eldest brother trying to motivate, and let's say do not look the score, and let's think that we are even. We'll see. It's quite a challenge.
Yeah, also, of course, Russo joined by Matias McDonough, who is by Pablo's side, and also Santi Zubiarre there, who is Sapo's brother-in-law. I don't know if he's also standing there as a substitute, but so the horses for this checker number 7, Camilo on Open, Antojo Polito on La Tía Payana, Barto on La Tía Ramona, and Nachi on Chalo Tigresa. The horses for La Natividad into the 7th checker. And now for Murus, Facu on Cachiyuyo Millonaria, Sapo on Jazz Fragata, Pablo on Irenita Entusiasta, Juanma on Irenita Reconciliada. And what a challenge for these two as well. I mean, Juanma and Pablo, they've been playing together, Pepe, since 2008. First 3 years with El Ostina, then 10 years with La Dolfina. They have a very good link in between them, but now, of course, the momentum by La Natividad in the latest checkers have been tremendous, and for sure the chances for Murus Sanctus will remain maybe, at least on this moment, maybe on them. Because they are really experienced on these situations.
Absolutely, but you have to, you know, in a way, you have to be offensive, but, you know, you also understand that any mistake that you make now is going to be extremely expensive, extremely expensive. Something to look, Andres, now, these are the horses that are going for these next 2 checkers that are going to be the winners of the 2 important prizes that we give for the horses here. So this also something to be watched in the next 2 checkers.
Juanma from the back, looking for Pablo. Now Sapo with a strong approach, looking for Pablo again. Trying to take it on the near side, the ball staying in behind. And here comes Guillermo Caset with the tapping. And now Polito taking the danger away with that back shot. A nice pickup by Barto Castagnola. Nice follow up there by the eldest of Lolo's sons. Here comes Barto. Already a winner, Pepe, of the Queen's Cup and the Gold Cup in England.
Yes,
Such a short age. Trying to link with Polito. Nice pickup by Polito, head to head against Pablo. It was Camilo, and now Pablo with the back shot. Facundo now on the near side, looking for Sapo Caset. Nice action by Nacho Plesina. Polito, the ball staying in behind. Nice pickup by Barto Castagnola, who is now a little bit open to the right hand side. Hitting that goal with that under the neck approach. Barto Castagnola finding the net. What a way to put even more pressure on Murus Sanctus' side. But let's not talk about Murus, Pepe, because what these guys are doing today is simply amazing.
Incredible. You know, one of the big difference, I think they are much more accurate with the ball. When they hit the ball, they are definitely much more accurate. I think that from Murus, I don't know, they never found the rhythm, the timing.
Definitely. But now Juanma, nice pick up by Juanma, open to the left-hand side, chased by Nachi Duplessis again for Martin, and they were standing behind now Pablo McDonough. With one more tapping there. Trying to find his best angle maybe to hit a goal. Pablo McDonough with the under the neck approach, looking for Facundo Sola. Nice turning, nice opportunity for Murus Sanctus, and Facundo Sola finding the net to close the gap. And now it's 12-6.
Even though, you know, look at the way they are fighting, even though Facu was scoring, you know, they were really fighting until the very last second. Look at Nachi.
No, they're playing checker by checker, definitely.
Ball by ball, I think.
And now the game is on, picking up the ball in the lineup was Facundo Sola. Now Barto Castagnola, at least at first sight.
Del 3 verde, por eso.
It looked as if Facu picked the line.
Estamos de acuerdo.
¿Qué te gusta?
So let's see.
60, me parece, no sé si va para más. Está saliendo del throwing, ¿no?
60 yards, ¿no?
Sí, 60.
Gracias.
Let's see if we have the chance to watch the replay. At least at first sight, it was a very clear line by Facu Sola. So here, maybe Facu picking it up, then turning, already picking the line, and Barto crossing over that line. Is going to be a penalty for now in favor of Murus Sanctus. A good opportunity for Sapo, who already took 2 penalties from 60 yards, which he couldn't score. And now with the chance of closing the gap again. Sapo, one of the guys who is looking for his first ever title at the Argentine Triple Crown.
Yes, incredible. Now
and they're gonna look. This is
they changed. This is a new. This is a
first penalty now by Juanma, I think. So here comes Juan Martinero with this penalty for, and the ball goes in to close the gap. It was a good decision then. And Juanma with his second goal of the day to close the gap again.
Definitely, it was a good moment to change the shooter. We'll see if this is the first move for an incredible recovery.
Now, Gaston Lucero ready to throw the ball in the lineup. Halfway through the 7th checker, Natividad is winning by 5, but now Pablo McDonough picked it up to send his team in the tank. Now Facundo Sola and Polito Pierre still in possession of the ball with the long approach, looking for Camilo Castañola. Here comes Geta, long approach to take it all the way into the 60s, into the 40s. Here comes Camilo, chased by Pablo McDonough. Camilo, and he will not fail over there. Camilo Castañola scoring again to extend the lead after a nice combination with Polito Pierres to take a 6-goal lead in favor of La Natividad.
It looks much more simple for La Natividad to score, no? I think this is a clear example of what the game has been. I think they've been playing as a team, and clearly you can see with this goal, no? For Murus Sanctus, it's much more difficult to score. Much more difficult. They have to, you know, really fight hard and not many passes. It's much more individual, I think.
Then now Pablo McDonough, challenged by Polito. Here comes Pablo. One more approach by the 11th-time winner of the Argentine Open, Pablo McDonough. The ball staying in behind, and now Sapo picking it up for Murus Sanctus, trying to find a better angle, and the marking by Barto Castañola. What a way to defend over there, Barto. And try to take the danger away with the back shot. Nice pick up by Pablo McDonough. Here comes Pablo, chased by Nacho Duplessis. One more approach by Pablo McDonough. The ball staying in behind. Picked up at the end by Juan Martín Nero. And Juan Manero again scoring for Murus Sanctus to close the gap again. And he looks to be the way to the goal for Murus Sanctus now.
But look at the difference, you know, how difficult, how many times they have to tap the ball in order to score, you know. The game of Natividad is much more simple. They are looking for teammates and they're trying to make a simple pass. But we'll see. We'll see.
So 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in this track number 7 out of 8 that will be played today. And now on the turning, Barto Castañola to pick it up. Here comes Barto with the first approach. Here comes Barto Castañola looking for a new goal for La Natividad. And taking the ball into the 40s. A nice recovery by Juan Manero, never giving up, trusting that he will have the chance to take that back shot. And now Pablo McDonough trying to link with Guillermo Caset. Here comes Sapo running over the midfield line. One more approach by Guillermo Caset. Still a lot of time remaining in this game. Sapo was standing behind, and now Pablo McDonough with the pick up, the marking by Polito. And now Barto Castañola picking the line. I think they're calling a foul against Blue with Barto picking the line. Pepe.
I think it's...
¿Cuánto queda tiempo? Unos segundos. Tengo 2 vueltas. Para ahí,
¿Cómo? ¿Esperamos? ¿Qué esperamos?
Okay. Ok. Así que me pedían tiempo.
From the spot for green?
¡Estamos, señores!
Yeah, because the green player was running towards his own backline.
Yeah. Gracias, muchachos. Vamos.
So 35 seconds remaining in this track number 7 until the first bell. Nacho Duplessis looking for Barto Castañola. Here comes Barto with a long approach, looking for Camilo, head-to-head against Juan Martín Nero. And here comes Camilo Castañola, one more approach, trying the final hit at goal, and the ball goes wide right to the right-hand side. But Pepe, look, I mean, if you take a look at the recent picture, Camilo Castañola and Juan Manero, 2 amazing players of his own generation, and with the chance of watching that clash in this final is amazing.
Incredible,
Let me tell you.
incredible. It's an incredible opportunity to see, as you said, let's say the old generation and the renovation, you know. And I think it's as you say, it's a fantastic victory.
And now Juanma with the approach, trying to link with Pablo McDonough. Nice pick up by Sapo from the near side to the other side, and now Barto Castañola taking it away. He doesn't want to get into trouble for sure. Juanma now with the approach, linking with Sapo. Sapo Caset with a new approach, looking for Facundo Sola. When we listen to the final bell, La Natividad leading by 5 into the last checker. This relay checker number 7 here at the Luis Lacy ground in Hurlingham. And
I don't think that not even the most or the biggest fanatics of La Natividad were expecting this. You know, if you would ask them this morning, you know, Andres, I think if you look for the MVP, of course now right now in the team of Natividad, it's tough, you know, because you can it's tough to find one super player. They play very good, every single player. Because,
yes,
you know, of course, Polito had his super checkers, but Barto was doing a fantastic job. Nachi, I think.
Well, actually, when you mention Nachi, Pepe, I'm trying to remember if he missed some important back shot or stuff like that when he was put under pressure, and I cannot recall it right now, actually.
I agree with you. And sometimes those kind of things are more difficult to see them, but reality is that he was playing a super defensive job. Super defensive game, and also, well, of course, in front, Geta, no doubt that he was playing his game.
You know, Pepe, what's interesting, I mean, I get to travel a lot, and I get to see a lot of players who are raised, I don't know, from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. And in every single position in the field, you start to understand why a player who is playing, I don't know, up front must be raised in handicap. But, for example, Camilo Castañola, when he took that ball on the midfield line, you knew that he was bringing it all the way to score. Yes. So those are the moments when you know that a player maybe is taking the new step and getting better and better, and you get to see it in, I mean, according to his position on the field, you look for different stuff. But with Camilo Castañola, in a certain way, when we were talking about he scored 9 goals today, what's interesting for Murus is to say, okay, how do I control him when I almost know that as soon as he picks the ball, he will take it all the way to the other end, right?
Something very similar happened when Cambiaso started to play. When Cambiaso started to play, was one of the players that at the very beginning was able to control him was Marco Sei. Marco Sei was the only one, I would say, that more or less could manage him for the first 3-4 years. Afterwards, it was impossible, because he had no fixed position, but even though any part of the field that he was getting the ball, you knew that 99% it was a goal. But yes, I agree that he's what we call a different player. Huh?
Definitely. And now Barto Castañola with the back shot. Now Nachi looking for Polito. Here comes Pablo Pierres taking his time. Already asking for the ball on the inside was Camilo Castañola. Here comes Camilo on the head-to-head against Pablo McDonough. Nice recovery by Pablo. And now Juanma coming back to link with Pablo. Here comes Pablo McDonough. On the balls to the center, trying to thought out the marking by Polito, who was trying to take that back set, and now Camilo again. The ball staying in behind. Barto now with the long approach, looking for his brother, who was standing up front. And the marking by Camilo. Here comes Camilo Castañola. Nice pickup by Barto, who was coming from behind. Still Barto Castañola. And now a new recovery by Juan Martinero. The ball staying in behind. Pablo taking the danger away. Linking with Guillermo Caset. Here comes Sapo. Challenge there by Barto Castañola. One more approach by Sapo. And again Barto Castañola. Another of the players who's been amazing today. Here comes Barto with the pickup. Long approach by Barto Castañola to take it all the way head to head against Juan Manero. Barto Castañola to raise his mallet and scoring a goal that he knows that could mean a championship. Pepe.
Absolutely. I think that here we have the new winners of the Hurlingham Open. What an incredible, you know, how simple they play, these guys, you know.
And you know, something interesting happened with Barto, with Camilo, and I don't want to be unfair with Polito and Nachi, but you remember, and we always talk about this, you knew since they were 10 years old, they were playing the Metros, every single tournament in Buenos Aires, in the other provinces of Argentina as well. And we were awaiting for this moment. Maybe not for them to win championships, but to be characters of these kind of games.
Absolutely. As you say, these guys, they were competing. I think that his father Lolo always says this from the very, very beginning. And they were sort of building up this instinct of competition that they have. And of course, we were all waiting. But, you know, they are now, I think they're reaching, because they had an incredible, let's say, professional year before, and they were winning in England. They came with a high, really too high, maybe expectations last year. It was not a year for them, but now I think the right time for them winning a Triple Crown title.
Definitely, and now Polito
had a
great today again.
Great game. He's lending some horses also to Geta. He's.
And now again, Barto Castagnola picking it up. La Natividad is not stopping with the rhythm. Here comes Barto with the approach from a long distance. Don't tell me that one goes in, but goes wide. And what it's important about Polito, Nachi, is also not only their talent and the way they're playing, Pepe, but also they're kind of the leaders inside the field for Barto, for Camilo, for not rushing up, you know.
Andres, let me send a message to all of the polo fans around the world. If you were doubting in coming to watch the Open, after watching this final, guys, this is the year to come. You know, pandemic is over. You're gonna be watching the next winners of many Opens. So come to Argentina and live a historical moment. It's gonna be an incredible Open.
Nacho Duplessis, Sapo Caseta approaching the position when Polito was picking at the line, and also Pepe, to add to what you were saying, maybe the most exciting Argentine Open in the last 15 years in terms of contenders, in terms of quality of players.
No doubt. Imagine that we had two, you know, in these 4 teams, we had 2 different teams in Tortugas, 2 different teams in Hurlingham. So we don't know who's going to be definitely who's going to be the winner.
Polito Pieres with the long approach, running over the midfield line, the marking by Juanma. Nice pick up by Nacho Duplessis, and here comes Polito Pieres trying to find the net one more time before the end of this contest. Nacho Duplessis on the near side, and now Polito. Nice pick up by Juan Manero, who also had a very good performance today on a game that Murus Sanctus didn't find the best way. Maybe Pepe Juanma really was the engine of the team for moments.
Absolutely, I agree with you. If it wasn't for Juanma, they would have even worse this defeat.
Que lo creamos con los chicos, con Polito, con todos. En 2 años.
Lolo Castagnola speaking in the back, crying and remembering about the beginnings of La Natividad. He was telling me, Pepe, the other day that he was remembering when they started, that the stable was open, they only had a couple of horses for each of them, they were playing polo every day, and now to this point, I cannot imagine his happiness and Camila's happiness in this moment.
And the effort that they put on this, the amount of time, money. No, I'm also very happy for Polito. Polito has made up an incredible effort. I'm very happy.
Definitely. Polito now with the approach.
First ever South African player winning the Hurlingham Open.
Wow, that's an interesting data.
Yes.
Sapo Cassette with one of the final approaches of this historical final. La Natividad. Barto Castagnola, Camilo Castagnola, Polito Pieres, Nacho Duplessis will be winning their first ever title at the Triple Crown. 7, 6, 5. Time ticking down.
What a final.
And the final bell goes, and La Natividad is the winner of the 2021 Hurlingham Open, the first ever title of many more that will be coming along in the next year, Pepe. But
for sure, Andres.
We will always remember that we were here on the very first day they won a championship.
Absolutely. And I want to repeat my recommendation, guys. take a ticket, come to Argentina and watch the Open, because you're going to have a lot of fun. Because if this is the beginning, I want to be in the final of the RG Open. Andres, thank you very much for the invitation. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
At least to tell you a little bit about the history of this incredible club. And let me make an open invitation to everybody. And let's hope that next year people from all around the world not only come to the Argentine Open, can just come 1 month before and watch this. That is the origin of the game here in Argentina. We're going to be you're going to be more than welcome to stay, live at the club.
Definitely, look, the joyfulness on their faces. Polito Pérez, who made a big effort also, he had to listen a lot of stuff. He had to went through a lot of things for sure.
No, absolutely. Remember that he lost his 10 goals. You know, leaving in Argentina, that was not a nice thing for him, and making his own choice. And
also how many people, Pepe, also saying, okay, maybe they're not working out well because Polito doesn't fit, you know.
Absolutely.
How many times he had to listen to that?
Ooh, many. And let me say that also for the Castañolas, that they believed on this team, you know, that they say, okay, we're going to keep it. And this is also, no, it takes time to build up a team. And I think that this also shows that even though Murus is an incredible team, but it's too young, and it's going to take a while for them to fit on their own positions.
No, but for sure they are, considering Murus, they are already thinking about their next challenge, which is the Argentine Open. They will be playing against La Natividad for sure for a spot in the final. Of course, they had 3 more matches that they will be playing, but this moment for sure, Pepe, you'll have for sure the pleasure in a few moments time to place the Blazers on the La Natividad's players, which will be an unforgettable moment. But this is history in the making, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. What an incredible way to end up this final. Super day, the field, you know, no accidents. It's, for us, cannot be better. And this possibility of talking to the people all around the world is, I'm really thankful for the opportunity, Andres.
No, thank you very much, Pepe. I know that now you will be with the prize giving, that it will be in a few moments' time. And while we listen to Barto, who is now already a Triple Crown winner in Argentina at 20 years of age, alongside his brother Camilo, Polito. And what is funny is that Camilo managed to score 9 goals on a day that everybody was saying if he was gonna be able to make it or not after the injury he suffered on his left wrist and everything. But
Andres, he has a broken bone. You know, can you imagine if he would have been 100%? No, it's unbelievable. You know, this morning at 11, he was kicking and rolling, and they were doubting if he was going to be able to play.
No, what a way to...
His mother, sister, both sisters. No, for Polito, incredible. Polito has really good experiences here in Hurlingham. He won for the first time. Remember, he was replacing Facundo when he had that accident.
Yeah, he took the leadership on that game when Facundo left, and he was replaced by Lucas James on that final against Alegría. And he, as we said in Argentina, I don't know if it's even a phrase in English, but he put his team on his own shoulder, and he manages that way amazingly well. And then they came back to win it again.
Absolutely. Also, you know, let me say something about Nachi. You know, a very sort of silent player, but he was doing an incredible defense job. A guy that is, of course, a very nice guy, and that makes an incredible effort. And for him, is a well-deserved title. And all for the whole South African polo history, you know. As I said, 88 years they were playing the final of the RG Open. You know, I'm sure that they are watching this transmission from there, and they would be absolutely happy with this.
No, and Nachi, I was mentioning before, Pepe, that he made such an amazing comeback. I mean, you remember some 8-9 years ago, he was thinking about leaving all behind, selling all his horses. Suddenly, Mariano Aguirre got injured in Palermo. He replaced him. He played all that open. He played the final, and then little by little he started coming back. He played for La Dolfina Polo Ranch, and then he crossed the street one day and said, "Lolo, I want to play with your kids," and now it's paying off, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. They qualified for the Open, then they played the Open. No, it's a long way, so I'm very happy for him.
There in the back, I think it was Paul Pieres as well, Nachi, for sure enjoying this moment, and Benicio Castagnola there in the backdrop, of course, part of the organization, and what
also, you know, this Andres, this is something that should encourage international players. You know, we had many international players. Of course, it's difficult, it's tough, it's expensive. We know this, but look at this. If Nachi, you know, I'm sure that Luke and Mark Tomlinson, Jaime Huidobro, Fred Mannix, of course, it's difficult, but it's not impossible, guys. Look at Nachi, you know. So maybe this is going to encourage many international players to come. You know, I think that also for us here, it's very good. It's very good to have them.
No, definitely. And I was remembering about 2 years ago when Nachi and the two Castagnolas played together in England to warm up for the qualification, and they ended up winning with Dubai the Gold Cup for the British Open, and they continue like that. And well, and then came the first qualification to the Open. They won 2 matches in Palermo. Then, as you said before, maybe last year they were thinking that was their year, and it was a difficult year for them to link and to answer back to all the expectations that were around them, you know. And this year they came back, and maybe even at the beginning of the season when they lost against La Ensenada in the beginning of Tortuga, say, okay, maybe they need some more time, and they showed that they just needed a couple of matches to get in shape.
Absolutely. They were really betting on this and on the long run, you know, and they believed. And I think that here they're having the results of this big in very nice project, no?
Yes, Polito, who scored 3 goals today, was very important in the beginning of the game, having scored the 2 first ones on a chaka that was won by La Natividad 2-1. And
I think that I would say that the first 3 chakas of Polito he was totally on fire. I think he was showing the lead at the very beginning, you know, on the match, when you have someone that is really showing you, then it's easier to get the confidence. At the beginning is what is, you know, the first goals, they have a lot of importance, because look at what an ability. But I think that he was the one that was showing the lead from the very beginning, and was giving the confidence to the rest of the team.
Yeah, definitely a Queen's Cup winner this year. Polito Pieres with UAE, what a year for him.
Yes.
He had a very good year in the US, even though he couldn't win any of the tournaments with Indiana, but they continued to England. He also reached the final of the Gold Cup, and now winning the Hurlingham Open. And also, even though they're going to celebrate today for sure, he's for sure definitely thinking about the Open as well.
No doubt. and something that you have to think about, Andres, is the other Ellertina and Dolfina that they are watching this game. Of course they were worried, but right now they are much more worried about this, because one thing is to play against these guys as sort of you know, youngsters and beginners. Now with a title, here is Juan Manero.
Yes, who insist, I think, Pepe, he threw out a very good performance. I mean, even though La Natividad were fair winners, Juanma remained the light on for Murus Santos, you know, scoring a couple of goals, taking the back shots very well, being solid in defense, leading his team from the back. Of course, he wanted his team to win, but he had a very good game today.
Yes, I agree with you, Andres, and also this shows that even though we are talking about 4 incredible players, the ones from Murus Santos, it's not as simple as just to put 4 super players. You know, you have to have the feeling, you have to have the rhythm, and today Murus was not having those things, and La Natividad had them, and I think that in a way, for a team sport like polo is, sometimes we have these discussions about, you know, incredible individual skills, but right now in a good field, when you have these kind of players, you have to play as a team. There is no, you can maybe one check or 1-2 goals, but in the end, the team that plays as a team is the winner.
No, yes, I think there was only one moment of the game where Murus was getting closer, which was in the first checker when they came from 4-1 in behind to 4-3, and then very quickly there, I think it was Camilo scored a penalty, and then they scored one more time before the end of the halftime, before the end of the fourth, and they managed to score a 3-goal lead again. And after that, I think that Murus never found a way to be back on the game. I mean, La Natividad, not only they ended up winning a 6-goal lead and everything, but if we take a look at all the checkers, they only lost one, and they always manage to keep on taking more goal, a bigger lead and everything. And how do you play to a team like that on a day that they are inspired, you know?
No. As you said, I think you were mentioning in the halftime, I would say the ability that La Natividad had to keep that lead, the one that they were getting from the very beginning, and they never lost it. Is always difficult when you're running from behind. The top players, they say that when you run from behind, your horses are always slow, you know, and you're always reacting, not acting, and this is a big difference. And imagine when you have to discount goals, it's even more difficult. And I think this is what was happening with Murus. Murus was reacting to the actions of La Natividad, and it's difficult in this level to win a match like that. But even though I think that the horses of La Natividad, but sometimes when you think about the horses, you have the illusion that they were faster, but I think it has to do with the mental skills of that day of the players that make them look faster or not.
Definitely. I mean,
got a father, proud father.
But what I think is the highlight about what Lolo always says is that if you think you're the best at something, definitely you won't be succeeding. You have to stay humble. You know that if you want to succeed in polo, you have to invest in horses. It doesn't matter the best car. It doesn't matter the best car. I mean, if you want to succeed in this, and I think that is something that he always talked about. And what it's most difficult about this is that the boys, men, or I don't know how to call them now, the kids, they always knew it as well, because maybe you just listen to it, and when you're 30 years old, you say, okay, it's obvious. But how do you manage all that when you're 15, when you're 16, and everybody's talking about you, and you have a lot of people approaching you, and big money offers and everything, you know?
Andres, I totally agree with you. There are many big temptations in order to think other things, and I think they were following the father's thoughts from the very beginning, and I think we are just looking at the result of that. Someone let me say something about Lolo, that he was winning here in '97 for the first time, because he won first in Palermo, and then afterwards he was winning here in Hurlingham. I have to run, Andres, because I have to go to the presentation, but I thank you very much. It was really a pleasure. Maybe I'll see you in Palermo.
Yeah, definitely. No, we'll bump into each other now for sure after the prize giving, definitely, Pepe. But thank you very much for having joined us today. It was a pleasure for us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Pepe Santamarina, we have the pleasure of having him for this special transmission on AAP Live on this historical day where La Natividad have won the Hurlingham Open to secure their first ever title at the Argentine Triple Crown, after having defeated Murus Sanctus by a 14-8 score. What a performance by La Natividad, never stopping their rhythm in this game, with 9 goals scored by Camilo. this guy Barto, who scored twice today, who again managed to score the last goal of the game, as he did against La Dolfina. And I always say that if you love sports, there's no bigger privilege that being contemporary to the great contenders, to the great players. We have the pleasure in Argentina to have Leo Messi. I have the pleasure to follow all his career, all Manu Ginobili's career, and Polo-wise, I was privileged enough to watch the whole career by Adolfo Cambiaso, Facundo Pieres, Bautista Egui, Juan Manero, and so many others. And now we have the privilege of watching these players taking the mainstream of polo, something that we were expecting since they were, I don't know, 12, 13, 14. We knew that they were going to be here, I mean, but I don't know if everybody expect them so fast to be winning championships. Here again, Barto Castagnola, 20 years old, Camilo, 18, led very well by Polito, by the experience of Nachi as well, to end up winning the championship. Everybody was talking yesterday about Camilo's injury, but look the way he played today. I mean, 9 goals. And we were talking before with Pepe that should Camilo Castagnola get raised to 10 goals at the end of the season, he would become the youngest ever to become a 10-goaler in Argentina. Here Juanma, who ended up playing a very good game for Murus, and for Murus still a very interesting challenge is coming along, the Argentine Open. They will have La Natividad on their league. They will be playing on League B with La Natividad, with Brava, with Alegría and Chapaleufú, while on League A, El Ertina, La Dolfina, Alegría Fish Creek, La Irenita and La Ensenada. The Argentine Open that will be kicking off next Friday and will be running until December 11th. Of course, all matches will be live on AAP Live. While, of course, here we have Polito, who ended up being one of the best in the tournament. Pablo Pieres, 3 goals today for Polito. Pablo Pieres, I cannot imagine his happiness in this moment, but I know that also he is thinking of what is coming along. But what a way for Polito, making his comeback to La Natividad after 5 years playing for El Ertina. He arrives in La Natividad to join Camilo, Barto, Nachi Duplessis. Last year, maybe they were still warming up for what was coming for this year. And look, what a way. What a milestone for them. They defeated La Dolfina, they defeated Murus Sanctus, they defeated many 10-goalers to claim this championship, showing that they are they are a serious thing. La Natividad is the winner of the Hurlingham Open. So the final stats for this game: throw-ins 1, 10 by La Natividad, 15 by Murus Sanctus, fouls committed 8 against 7, penalties 3 out of 4 by La Natividad, 3 out of 6 for Murus Sanctus, safeties 0 out of 1 for Murus, shots at goal 11 out of 17 for Natividad, 5 out of 16 for Murus, total goals, 14 by La Natividad, 8 by Murus Sanctus. La Natividad has written down their name into the history of polo in Argentina. Barto, Camilo, what a partnership, right? Of course, Camilo ended up being the top scorer of this tournament, having scored 31. Everybody wants a picture with him. I don't know what to say. I mean, Camilo, what else we can say about him, about Barto? Definitely the most valuable player today, even though the other three players play an amazing game. I mean, I don't want to be unfair, but Camilo Castañola, we're in front of one of the, I don't know, I don't want to see greatest players, but what Camilo Castañola is still doing, even playing on an injured wrist, it's amazing. I mean, and Lolo, look how happy he was at the end. Barto, Lolo, Camilo. They started it all by themselves some years ago. And now, some years later, they managed to win the championship in the Triple Crown. I mean, there's another challenge coming along next week for them, but what a way to get a new milestone in their career. While we fly over Louis Lacy ground here in Hurlingham, on the left-hand side, the golf course, and also a great championship by Murus Sanctus, having defeated El Artino in the semi-final. But today they play against a team who almost didn't miss a single shot, who was on the lead during the whole game. I think that there was only one moment that they could reach out for the equalizer, and it was during the fourth jacket. But after that, very quickly, La Natividad managed to score again, and they could never get back from there. Sebastián Merlos, former teammate of Lolo Castañola en La Dolfina, en Estancia Grande. And of course, celebrating with them, I think it was also Alfonso Pieres, close to them. Pablo McDonough now on screen, who for sure will be getting better and better for the Open. Juan Martín Nero. Fortunately for Murus Sanctus, the positive thing is that they have all four players in great conditions for the Argentine Open. There's a new challenge for them coming along. But La Natividad today made history after having won their first ever Triple Crown title. They defeated Murus Sanctus in the Hurlingham Open final to claim the championship. Camilo Castañola. I was talking before about being contemporary to the great players, regardless of sport, and we are watching the growth of Barto and Camilo Castañola. We have the privilege already of watching so many players, and now Barto and Camilo are already on the mainstream of polo. That is incredible. 20 and 18 years old, respectively. And of course, are waiting to see which horses were picked as best playing ponies today, both by the organization and by the Breeders' Association. As we were saying, next Friday, the Argentine Open will be kicking off in Palermo. November the 12th, Friday and Saturday will be look, Jota Chaban congratulating Nachi Duplessis. Nachi Duplessis winning his first ever Triple Crown title, the same as Barto and Camilo. Polito have won the Argentine Open twice, and so Tortugas. And now the Hurlingham Open winners and the runners-up are reaching the stand for the prize giving. What a contest of polo we have watched today here at the Louis Lacy ground in Hurlingham, here at the Hurlingham Club. With La Natividad winning this final from end to end. Always in the lead in the score. They were never even tied. Only at the beginning of the game, when the game was goalless. After that, La Natividad managed to be always on the lead. With a great effort by all 4 players of the team. And now Barto Castagnola, there we see the horse picked by the Argentine Breeders Association. And of course now they are reaching the stand for the prize giving. They will be receiving their jackets, which is one of the highlights of this Hurlingham Open. The jackets for the winners. Nice view from our drone. Camilo, Barto, on the first ever final of the Triple Crown, they ended up claiming a championship. No less than that. There also Delfín Uranga, president of the Argentine Polo Association, Carlos Menéndez Betty, vice president. Sapo Cassette, Pablo McDonough, Facundo Sol, amazing performance for Murus Sanctus in this Hurlingham Open. They will be back, of course, contending for the Argentine Open. There in the backdrop, Milo McDonough, son of Pablo. And of course, the moment of the prize giving approaching them is Maxi Funes, who will be the host, I believe, of this prize giving. That will crown La Natividad as the new winners of the Hurlingham Open. Polito, Camilo, what a moment for them. Russo also, who is a coach of Murus Sanctus. And for Polito and Camilo, what a moment. Polito, as we said before, after 5 years playing for El Ostina, he stepped in for La Natividad. There in the back, Mr. Kelly, president of the Hurlingham Club, congratulating Polito. Rafael Cunio Olivarona, part of the Hurlingham Club, also of the disciplinary committee of the Argentine Polo Association. And Russo, of course, coaching Murus Sanctus. For sure, they will be back stronger for the Argentine Open. Nachi Duplessis, he won the Gold Cup for the British Open with the Castagnolas 2 years ago, playing for Dubai, alongside Rajuri Alwardi. Federico Fleitas, also part of the Hurlingham Club. Congratulating Polito, what a moment for them, I insist. And in the back, of course, Robertito Iturrios, Benicio Castagnola, part of the staff of La Natividad. That young girl is Lola, which is the youngest daughter of Lolo and Camila Cambiaso. He's talking about his injury. How did you get injured? I was on a knee wheel and suddenly I fell over my left hand. So now all the players gathering there at the stands for the prize giving. Pablo McDonough, who first and foremost, he is back from a tear, a 10mm tear. So he for sure will be back stronger for the Argentine Open. And this is going to be a very interesting challenge for them regarding that, considering that this is only their second game playing together for Murus Sanctus. So for sure they will be playing more practices in the upcoming days. So the final standings for top scorers: Camilo 31 goals, Facundo Pieres 26, Sapo Caset 24, and Cambiasos Senior and Junior 17.
Bueno, buenas tardes a todos.
This is Fernando Kelly, president of the Hurlingham Club.
En este 128 abierto del Hurlingham Club. Lo primero es felicitar.
Welcome everybody. I want to congratulate the players.
A los finalistas. Tenemos la suerte de
both winners and runners up.
Bueno, de ser partícipes del triunfo de un nuevo ganador del abierto de Hurlingham, un equipo que inscribe por primera vez su nombre en la larga lista de grandes equipos que han ganado Hurlingham, así que estamos muy felices con eso.
We're really happy about it.
Y es un momento también para agradecer
fundamentalmente
los sponsors, en especial a Río Uruguay Seguro, nuestro main sponsor que nos acompaña ya hace 4 años y creemos nos va a acompañar muchos años más. A todos ustedes que vienen y también hacen de este lugar el maravilloso marco que le pusieron hoy. A la Asociación Argentina de Polo, con quienes a partir del año 2016 empezamos a hablar y a pensar en integrarnos en una sola organización que pudiese sostener un evento de la naturaleza y la jerarquía que tiene la Triple Corona. Así que nada de esto hubiese sido posible si no hubiese sido por el apoyo de ellos y en especial de Delfín. Así que muy agradecidos por eso también. Contentos de que hayamos tenido esta fiesta y resaltar, por último, no sé si se llegó a ver, pero en la tribuna colocamos las banderas de Hurlingham, la bandera de la Asociación Argentina de Polo y la bandera del Tortugas, junto obviamente con la bandera argentina. Es mucho más que un pequeño gesto, es una forma de darle visibilidad a un acuerdo que gracias a Dios se cerró este año, donde los dos clubes, con el apoyo y bajo el paraguas de la Asociación Argentina de Polo, vamos a seguir trabajando juntos para que la Triple Corona crezca y sea un espectáculo cada año un poco más atractivo. Así que muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes.
Muchas gracias. Vamos a comenzar con la entrega de las placas recordatorias a los referees oficiales y al árbitro. Les pedimos a Gastón Lucero, Guillermo Villanueva Hijo y Martín Pascual que se acerquen al centro, por favor. Van a hacer entrega de las placas Rafael Cuño Libarona y Marcos Saldao.
There we see them today. A very clean game, not many fouls actually. Guillermo Villanueva and Gastón Lucero were the officials inside the field, and the third man, or so-called referee, was Martín Pascual. They are also joined by Marcos Saldao on the left-hand side of your screens, who is in charge of the operations of the Argentine Polo Association. On the right-hand side was Rafael Cuño Libarona.
Muchas gracias. Vamos a continuar con la Copa Daniel Kearney al mejor caballo jugador de la final, que va a ser entrega el señor Pepe Santamarina.
Pepe Santamaría, our fellow
A
man.
Open Boina, le pedimos por favor que dejen lugar para la entrada de caballo.
The Best Plain Pony Award by the organization. The
Jugada por Polito Pérez.
There we see the joyfulness on Polito's face for the Best Plain Pony Award.
Entrega el premio de Asociación Argentina de Creadores de Caballos de Polo al mejor producto, jugador inscripto raza Polo argentino en la final. El titular de dicha asociación, señor Santiago Ballester, a la tía Ramona, jugada por Barto Castañola.
The Best Plain Pony by the Argentine Breeders Association, presented by Santiago Ballester, president of the organization, to La Tía Ramona, played by Barto Castañola. A mare that already played the Open in 2019 and 2020.
Por favor, sin aplausos.
One of his best ones since day one for Barto Castañola in this level of polo, and now La Tía Ramona being presented with the Best Plain Pony Award by the Argentine Breeders Association.
Sin aplauso, por favor. Muchas gracias. Va a ser entrega del premio Asociación Argentina de Polo al mejor caballo jugador de la final. El titular de la Asociación de Polo, señor Delfín Uranga. Acompaña Juan Carlos Lucio Godoy, presidente de Río Uruguay Seguros. Para Monkey Puzzle, jugada por Polito Pérez.
So, Monkey Puzzle, the Best Plain Pony by the Argentine Polo Association, and of course the president of Río Uruguay Seguros, the main sponsor, and Delfín Uranga presenting the award to Polito Pérez for Monkey Puzzle, the Best Plain Pony of the final by the Argentine Polo Association.
Muchas gracias, sin aplausos. Hace entrega del premio Javier Novillo Astrada, el mejor jugador de la final, el señor Rafael Cuño Libarona, a Polito Pérez.
And the most valuable player of the final, the Javier Novillo Astrada award goes to Polito Pérez. 3 goals today, presented by Rafa Cuño Libarona. There we see
Muchas
Polito
gracias.
Pérez, the most valuable player of the final.
Entrega el premio Asociación Argentina de Polo, Fair Play al Caballero del Polo, los señores Rafael Cuño Libarona y Federico Fleitas, a Camilo Castañola.
The Fair Play Award to Camilo Castañola. I think it's going to be presented by Federico Fleitas and Rafael Cuño Libarona, both of them men from the Hurlingham Club, also polo players.
Hace entrega de la Copa Ravencroft al equipo finalista RS Murus Sanctus, el señor Jorge Anzorregui, presidente del Tortugas Country Club, a su capitán Facundo Sola.
Santus.
Facundo o Pablo. Facu. Invitamos a Francisco Brignac, que haga entrega de las réplicas, junto a Jorge Anzorregui.
Jorge Anzorregui, president of the Tortugas Country Club, presenting the trophy, and now Frankie Dorignac Jr. presenting the replicas.
A Guillermo Casset.
To Facu Sola, to Sapo Casset, Pablo McDonough, and Juan Martín Nero.
A Pablo McDonough. Y a Juan Martín Nero. Despedimos con un fuerte aplauso al equipo finalista, a RS Murus Sanctus. Muchas gracias. Hace entrega de Ayrshire Cup al equipo ganador La Natividad, la señora embajadora Cristi Ayes y Fernando Kelly, presidente del Hurlingham Club, a su capitán,
Hurlingham Open,
¿no?
to La Natividad. I think they will be presenting the trophy there to
Se suma
the
también
captain of the team, Polito.
Para la foto, por favor, en el medio, más en el medio. Polito, más adelante en el medio. Se suma, por favor, para la foto el señor Juan Carlos Lucio Godoy, de Río Uruguay Seguros.
Fernando Kelly, also the lady ambassador, I think it is, and Mr. Lucio Godoy, president of Río Uruguay Seguros.
Continuamos con las réplicas.
And now time for the replicas.
Invitamos a la señora embajadora, a Camilo Castañola.
Of course, the replicas for the winners.
Y a Polito Piedres.
Of the 2021 Hurlingham Open to Camilo Castañola.
Invitamos a Juan Carlos Lucio Godoy que entregue las réplicas.
In a Triple Crown tournament for Camilo, for Barto,
a Barto Castañola.
For Polito, is his, if I'm not mistaken, is his horse title.
Y a Nachi Duplessis.
After having won it in 2016, 2017 and 2018.
Muchas gracias. Por último, hacen entrega de los históricos sacos al equipo ganador de la Natividad, Marcelo Smith a Camilo Castañola.
Now Marcelo Smith presenting the jacket to Camilo Castañola. One of the traditions here in Hurlingham, the winners receive the jacket.
Nicolás Recondo a Polito Piedres.
Nicolás Recondo presenting the jacket to Polito Piedres. Pepe Santamarina
Bueno,
was
Federico Fleitas.
talking before about there was a couple of changes on the jackets.
Rafa Acuña Libarona a Barto Castañola.
Around the world. Rafael Cuño Libarona to Barto Castañola.
Y Pepe Santamarina a Nachi Duplessis.
Pepe, our guest commentator today, to Nachi Duplessis. It was great to have him with us, going through some of the big history that this Polo club
Ahora
has.
sí, muchachos, levanten la copa para la foto y felicitaciones.
The moment that everybody was expecting, the winners, La Natividad, raising the trophy of the 128th Hurlingham Open, La Natividad with Camilo Castañola, Polito Piedres, Barto Castañola, Nachi Duplessis are the winners of this Hurlingham Open, first ever title in the Triple Crown for La Natividad, first ever title in the Triple Crown for Camilo Castañola, Barto and Nachi was celebrating, and also maybe from tomorrow they will start thinking about the Argentine Open. Today it's only time for celebrations. And they are receiving Camilo, Polito, Barto and Nachi Duplessis raising the Ayrshire Cup for having won the Hurlingham Open here at the Hurlingham Club. Of course, now the moment for the picture with only the players. Of course, Lolo in the middle of it. Benicio Castañola, brother to Camilo and Barto, part of the organization, of course. And now the moment for everybody to celebrate over there. So, as we were saying, next Friday, the ultimate polo tournament in the world will be kicking off on Friday, 2 p.m. La Dolfina and Alegría Fish Creek will be opening fire of a new Argentine Polo Open edition without limit of attendance. So everybody can come over to Palermo, of course, on day one, La Ensenada against La Irenita for the second game of the day. Then the action will continue on Saturday, Friday and Saturday. The Argentine Open will be kicking off a new edition, one of the most exciting ones of the last 15 years for sure, with 4 top contenders. And Latina La Dolfina, for instance, playing inside League A, and Murus Sanctus La Natividad playing inside League B. So what do you reckon? So on behalf of the crew of AAP Live, Star Plus, ESPN, my name Andrés Ugarte. It was a great pleasure for me and for Pepe Santamarina to take you some of the most historical finals in the history of the sport of polo in Argentina, with 3 new winners, Camilo, Barto, Nachi, joined by the MVP Polito Pieres. Thank you very much for your company and have a good one.